Amritsari Baj is the concluding of the 550th birth anniversary, and I thought of sharing a few things, although I'm not really in practice, and actually not at all in practice, but just a few things. Amritsari Baj. Prince Rama Varma, very good evening to you. Welcome to the 161st YaarAnād Virtual Baithak Series. I'm so glad that we could meet today.
Me too.
This is the instrument Jodi. Jodi was basically cut from Pakhavat that had become extinct. A little tokenism was only left, token like remembrance. It's almost like remembering a nickname of somebody. It's like few nicknames of somebody. And then you say, oh, in the KG class, that was my nickname. When I went to the primary school, that was my nickname, and it went on changing. So few tokens like that. But it was my privilege to recover this instrument and the entire ecosystem back. Now, many people around the world are playing, and people have even now perhaps forgotten that when I came into the scene in the later 80s, when I began to look at it coming from the flying aviation background, that there was a time when this instrument did not exist at all. And I remember when Professor S.K. Saxena wrote an obituary to my teacher, Sarpai Agni Singh Tharangar, to be published in Shruti in Chennai, in Madras. And the note came from the editor to Professor Saxena. He said, well, I don't know if Jodi was ever played with Rupert or in North India, because I'll have to first check before I publish the obituary. So that came as a shocker that India, modern India, has no idea about the heritage that there is, that is harvested by some of the greatest men and women who have lived and served and attended to the extraordinary legacy of our civilization. So I thought having revived the oldest school of percussion, which goes back to Gurū Nānak's time, there is no other school to my knowledge, living school with unbroken lineage of 5 1/4 centuries. I thought to conclude, we are both sitting together to mark the conclusion of the 550th birth anniversary year. I'm sorry you have to bear with my unpracticed playing of the Jodi. But I thought it would be great to remember Guru Baba Nanak. He sang a composition, Vaja Mati Pakhavat Bhav. And then he says that the mati, Guru's mati has become my pakhavaj, in his own words. So the term pakhavaj existed with Guru Nanak, and also speaks of mardang, another place. And he says vaja mati, the instrument, is the Guru's mati, and bhav, my state of love and compassion, is my pakhavaj. The instrument is the Guru's mati. So I thought it would be great to remember my dear Guru Baba with him. And I know that you, as from the Travancore family, Guru Nanak also visited. As he visited Jagannath Puri, as he visited Haridwar, he went to Makkah, to Jerusalem, said to have gone to Vatican, all the modern places. And so I thought it would be a beautiful way for both of our bloodlines. I'm the direct descendant of Bhai Sadharan, the direct disciple of Guru Nanak, and your grand ancestors were, they had a very beautiful relationship with Guru Nanak as well after his visit. So welcome, really. I'm very glad that we could meet today.
Thank you. I have a doubt. The things you are playing, you're doing, that is part of the traditional repertoire, or is it something modern you have incorporated?
No. It's all, at that time, the play, that's a very beautiful question. Many people began afterwards, when I came, and suddenly it became chic, because it was very flamboyant and spectacular, you know, the Amritsari Punjabi gay-like walk. So they didn't know, but anyway, because it's an academic perspective, the conversation, it was actually not the rest in between. It is not to mark the gap. Many people began to mark the clap. So that is actually the nikas of. There are certain for example, Gargarghe. So Gargarghe would be played here on the sides, Gargarghe, or this is Ka or Ka. So the
that is, that is there already.
Yeah. For example, the nikas, and there's a third option of playing. This one is, for example, the two cycles. Din ta ke tha di ke tha tha di ta ke tha di ke tha di ta ke tha di ke tha so tha di ke, like that. Let's see this one. So this is a mirdar. The bowl is. See the poetry. Dha takad dhe tat dhadi ke dhadi ke dhadi ke Okay. This is called very swaggery. Mirdar as Professor Saxena, when he encountered this repertoire to me, he is shocked. He says, my entire work is based on the detailed analysis of the entire repertoire of Ustad Ahmad Jan Thirakwa, and he would say that Habibuddin Khan Sahab, was my childhood buddy. We were like chuddy buddies. But this, I have not seen, and he rewrote. He said, you put me in trouble. I'm going to now have to rewrite the article on rhythm and aesthetics he wrote for British Journal of Aesthetics, which he did so before he died in 2011 in the last edition of the book. He said, after listening to the Pakhavaj of the young Bhai Baldeep Singh, he understood the idea that dignity could also enter the performance space other than ego. And then he writes that something that I understood was what he called willed waywardness. That is willed. It is not just wayward just like that. It is willed to be wayward.
Oh.
So this is the aesthetical, the term, the expression that he coined, to analyze and to articulate what was happening in the Punjabi Pakhavaj.
Because in Mridangam playing, the modern generation, when they do fusion or something, in between if they clap, it creates a buzz immediately, and not many people do that.
Oh, I see.
And I have heard there is one school of thought which says that on the mridangam you should not touch it with the outside of the fingers like this. You should only touch it like this. But some people, they do crack, crack, crack like this also. That do you touch with the outside or on the
there
instrument?
is no we have a bowl in which
Yes.
as much as outside it, I'm talking about pure repertoire, not newer innovations or
Yes.
inventions. So as I shared the other day, I think it was with dear friend Pandit Tanma Bose, or maybe with Sabir Khan. So there's a bowl called Dhara Dadu Kuku. So for the first time I shared that this is the bowl. So that's the only time. Dhara Dadu Kuku so this is the closest. I don't have any bowl that goes like this. No traditional bowl. Anybody wants to be smart enough, they're welcome to do it. The thing I can relate with that is that the Pahavaj, pure Pahavaj, before the Gath came, the Jodi was called by the Grand Elders of India as the complete percussion instrument of South Asia, or of the world, because from their world, in the Indic world, of course. The Sath playing was open hands, both hands. This is the Sath. So, ba, de, ta, di, na, de, de. So these are the 7 basic syllables. Like most people don't know in North. I've tried to research, looking at what the roots were, the grammar, the pedagogy, and all that. So most I think they're spoiled by the idea of tabla only. They don't go back in time of what was the original. So all poetry, the mnemonic syllables are born out of these 7 syllables. So 2 of the baya, and then the 5 of the ta, di, na, te, and te. So and Utha is played like that. So te, 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 ta, ta, te, te. So for example, this is very rare. In North also, they don't know how to. And then there are other bowls like Ghi and Tritain, very rare language from the past. But Sath was the first one, and then came the Jat, where the right hand became closed. So, for example, Dhanna Naga, 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 Dhanna. So, Dhanna Na, Dhanna Na, Dhanna Na, Taki Na Na, Dhanna Naga, Naga, Dhanna Naga, Naga, Dhanna Naga, Naga. So this is the Jat form, the second, and then became the third is when the Jodi became the closed, both hands became closed. And the first composition that was closed was this was the first composition centuries ago, which was closed from the Pahavaj. So it retains both hands, this and this playing. So this was considered, the Jodi could play all 3, tabla only plays the Gath, the third version, and the Mridanga or the Pahavaj plays the first 2. So, but I've seen in Mridangam also people playing with the Gath style as well. Dr. Vyalpuram Sivaraman has a beautiful gut, as we say. He's like a bull. when he presses the mridangam, it remains pulled, it remains pressed. He's extraordinary. So these are some of the thoughts on, some of the notes that I can share with you.
And just now you did both hands on one instrument. So can you use both hands on one side?
Yes,
or
they're exactly. So there are compositions like, for example, so this is Kabutra from Darbar Sahib Amritsar, ancient, centuries old. So And the other one, Nagada, this is a Nagada comes with so and the cab become so they would also do salutations at the Golden Temple to the Guru Granth Sahib.
Yeah.
So placing that namaskar at a very complex muqam, people would go, "Oh wow, that was great, that was spectacular."
Actually, so many things also have already been done before, but now when somebody new does it, they present it as something which just happened now, but it happened so many centuries ago.
Exactly.
So including in Mridangam, some people, when they play on the same side, we never see that happening.
Oh,
So
I
if
see.
somebody does that, we are all, oh wow, he's playing on same side. It's like something new, but
I
it
see.
all existed earlier.
These are all ancient, unchanged. In the in the etiquette, as we understand etiquette. Our families have served the etiquette, but it is that the entire grammar, as my understanding is, the entire grammar that we learn is only to be able to sing the original compositions without changing them, because those alankaras exist in those, and if we don't work on those alankaras, we would mutilate those compositions, or as I say, we murder them, we insult those compositions. So I think the ancient compositions, the way repertoire, the intangible assets or the heritage, the suksham or the abodh virasat, or virsa as we call it, the etiquette, decorum is to play them as they were played traditionally, and not to inter. And you can create things that you feel like, yeah, why not? I mean, or so this is my composition, it's Uthan. So, but this is again, the language is old. It's not something that I'm creating new, but it's in that there's no bondage to creative expression. In fact, it makes our soil more fertile. It's all the ideas that is like we are only like cows, no? We go out to graze. If it is a dharti like the Vrindavan or in Punjab, Laltu and others in Hoshiarpur, they were known for the pedas because the booties they would go and eat, the herbs they would go and eat were unique, and therefore the milk was full of aroma and flavor, and the peda they would make were famous. Therefore, so if the orchard in which we take an entry, get the pass to enter, the orchard is beautiful, is bounteous. Our own produce, our own milk would be worthy of note, is what how I think. But Prince Rama, this is we going to now have a fight, because I'm supposed to be asking you questions. The conversation was that I am the questioner, the interviewer. You are the interviewee.
Since it's Gurū Nānak celebration, the person with the beard has to talk more.
Oh yeah, that's the only way I can pretend to be older than you. You're just a few months older to me, by the way. Just a few months. But oops, did I reveal that? But I count by the length of the beard. So yes, no, but this is wonderful. I'm so glad, and may I request you, because I'll maybe change my asana. By the way, this is a beautiful painting by Arpana Kaur, one of India's finest painters, artists, one of India's noted, celebrated poet, Padma Shri awardee, Ajit Kaur's daughter. And she gifted this yesterday to me, and she gifted it actually day before yesterday. She called me because it was Bhai Mardana's death anniversary. The one who played the rabab with Guru Nānak, he passed away in Khorasan. Was it there where he died? I'm trying to remember. And so this is the rabab, which is handcrafted by me. So I placed both of them here, and I thought it will be wonderful to remember the Rabab and the Pakhawaj with Guru Nanak. Many people, of course, have said that, oh, the paintings without Bhai Mardana are not, right. How can they be separated? But it was very moving when I spoke with, when I met Arpana yesterday, in fact. She showed me a painting she made of when Bhai Mardana has died and Guru Nanak is there with the Rabab. So I thought, if the artist has that perspective, she has earned the right that after the death of Bhai Mardana, this is an aged Guru Nanak. The years that he lived when Bhai Mardana has died. So I thought it was beautiful with the Rabab down here, that it's in remembrance of Bhai Mardana, who passed away yesterday, 5 centuries ago. And I will change the asana and go back to the desk. May I request you to sing something to begin with an invocation of your liking and a kriti,
Yes.
maybe something from Muthuswami Dikshitar or Santyagaraja or Shama Shastri or even an older composer. I know that you're a researcher too. You're an analyst. You've analyzed and studied even the pedagogy, etc. So
I'll sing a composition by my own ancestor Maharaja Swati Tirunal.
Oh, really?
Who was actually Tyagaraja, Dikshitar, Syama Shastri, Swati Tirunal, they all lived at the same time, surprisingly. It just happened exactly at the same time.
Fantastic.
And in fact, Maharaja lived only to be in his early 30s. So he passed away at the end of December, and 2 weeks later in January, Tyagaraja passed away. So they died at the same time. So Tyagaraja was an octogenarian and Maharaja was only in his 30s. The last part of their life was at the same time.
I see.
And
that's great. So we can remember them both and honor them as well.
And Maharaja's court was adorned by 4 great musicians from Tanjore who were called the Tanjore Quartet, of which one of them was a direct disciple of Muthuswami Dikshitar.
Wow.
So they never met. The Tyagaraja Dikshitar influence was very strong on Maharaja.
I see.
So, they didn't have Skype and stuff like that.
Really? They did not have?
No, as far as I know, they don't.
Are you sure? You must check your notes.
Yeah. So Maharaja, because unlike Dikshitar, who traveled all over India, because Maharaja was not only a Maharaja, because of which he was stuck
he
here.
Remained in Varanasi as well, and had a lot of Dhrupad, the old Pade singing, Ekpade, Dopade, Chopade influence in his compositions. Yes.
So, and he was not only a Maharaja, but Maharaja who was getting crushed by the British rule. So it was a very tough position to be in. But being a Maharaja, he had the freedom to invite great musicians from other parts of the country to his court and educate himself and discover and search and find out more about other forms of music, with the result that around 40 bandishes he's made in Hindustani style, though he's a Karnataka living in Trivandrum. So that is quite, as I'll present a small composition in Hindi by Maharaja, describing the Ras Leela of Lord Krishna.
I see.
So, actually,
which raga did he compose that in?
Many of them, only the lyrics were available. Different people from the 20th century have set them to tune.
I see.
So the same song I have heard sung in around 4 different ragas and tunes.
I see.
What I sing is in Misra Pahadi.
So which is wow. So would it be? It'll be great if you can sing some Pahadi, the the alap and the Mangalacharan like that you do. It's beautiful. I'm a great admirer of your work as well. I know that you're not of my work. That's all right. I'll give you that.
No. I have watched your videos also. So
it'll be great if you can, Mr. Pahadi. That's fantastic to hear from you.
Yeah. It's kind of a South Indian version of Pahadi. It may not be the Kashmiri version, but yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic. And I'll meantime change also. So don't mind me moving around. But I'm listening. If you can keep the tanpura behind you would be great. A little behind you, away from the computer.
Away from, yeah.
So that your voice is the first source that the microphone
Yeah.
will identify.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, just when we were going, switching over to you, my battery decided to sort of conk off. I hope people will join back very shortly. And you were mentioning about the composition. I'm sort of my question that comes with the 40 compositions that you wrote in the Hindustani style, in Hindi, basically, you're basing that information. Did you, there is a video thing, if you can go back on the settings on the top left.
Yes.
Is your background or foreground, because I can't see you very clearly. Can you, there's a blur effect or something, it's like blurry, your image. If you can go to the settings, on audio video settings on the top left.
Yeah.
And then audio video settings at the top is the background or foreground. Can you put it on none on the top left of that?
Yeah.
There's no video effect, is it?
There's no video effect. No.
That's funny because it's not very sharp.
Yeah, because yours also looked more sharp earlier. Now it's little grainy.
Oh. No, but otherwise it's sharp, but yours is not at all sharp. It's like blurred.
Yeah, but yours also, on my screen, it doesn't look like how it looked earlier. It's very grainy now.
Really?
Yeah. So I thought maybe you can call again or something.
Yes, I will. Let me just do that in a moment. It's taking time here to... let me call you back. My apologies, everyone, but these are inevitables. Let me see if I can get a better connection with Prince Rama Varma. Professor Ravindra Visavra, wonderful to see you after many days. I haven't, in fact, my apologies, I've been sort of drowned here. I haven't called you. I was supposed to be calling you. But I'm looking forward to speaking with you very shortly. Can you, is this a better connection for you today now?
Still, the earlier one was definitely better.
Was it? Okay.
It's like little grainy now.
I see. Oh, grainy is okay, as long as it is sharp.
It's visible. I mean, I know it's you, but earlier it was very clear, like high definition.
I see.
Now it's little...
That's funny. The only other option is that we can both quit our Skype, we can close and then reconnect again. That's the only chance. You want to try that? You'll have to quit.
I think this is okay. No?
It's okay? Okay, perfect. If you're okay, I'm okay.
Is-
So my
yeah,
question before the signal went was that the fact that you know that he created them in the Hindustani style is because of the language, right? The
Yes.
compositional structure. There's no composition from him that has existed, which is like his original.
These were retuned and published in a book in 1960s, I think.
I see.
They were set to tune by K.G. Ginde and Ratan Shankar.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they have set these songs to tune, but people sing them in. I mean, different musicians sing them in. Not all of them follow those tunes exactly.
I see.
But that was done in 20th century.
Oh, I see. Oh, fair. That's very interesting. But original musical composition of your grand ancestor does not exist. Just to underscore, just to understand.
In Carnatic style, a few exist.
Oh, they do. I see.
Oh yeah. In Carnatic style, the problem is that with people like Tyagaraja, because he had a continuous living Shishya Parampara, we can kind of presume that more or less.
Oral traditions, they're very authentic people until about 80, 90 years old. I see.
Yeah. But in Maharaj and in Purandradasa Annamacharya case, the music was lost definitely. But Maharaja is kind of neither here nor there, because some compositions have been handed down by the court musicians, by the musicians in the Padmanabha Swami temple, a few songs, and sung generation to generation.
I see.
But in the 20th century, it was my great grandmother who got Harikaisanallur Muthaya Bhagavatar and Dr. Shamangra Srinivasa to compile all these songs. So some of them they preserved the original tunes, some of them they modified a little bit, and some of them they just put completely fresh tunes and never left a record which was the original tune, which was the modified tune, and which was the fresh tune.
I see.
So now we have this mass of music and lyrics. We have to sift through, and if we look at the lyrics, we kind of get a feel of probably this would have been how he composed, and probably this may not have been how he composed. Both, it's up to each music. They never left in the record.
I see. Interesting. We have in our we're fortunate. I think. I mean, other Sikh singers, they don't have an idea. Many people sometimes sing an adaptation or a little corrupted or diluted piece or a composition, but they are not. Those compositions have come hearsay, for example.
Yes.
And fortunately for me, I was able to learn from the direct, unbroken line. Even within that, the hundreds and hundreds of compositions that I've been able to, I mean, several more than 1,000. There's a class of composition which says, okay, this is Guru Arjan's, this is Guru Ramdas's, this is Guru Amar Das's, this is like Bhagati na chodon teri Bhagati na chodon kya ko hasai sache jinam me. This is Guru Amar Das's original. But then there are other compositions in which the composition they say is of the Guru, but the text is not of the same raga. So then I checked with my granduncle, but the original composition should be that. They say, yes, the composition is original, but the text changed somehow because in the same musical composition, they would add different lyrics given a different time. And if one lyric became very famous, then somehow it became a fad for 2-3 generations, and people somehow forgot which was the original text, but they only remember the adapted text, but the musical composition. So there are classes of composition I've been able to identify, those which are coming straight from the Gurus, and we know this is Guru Nanak's composition, this is Bhagat Kabir. We have Bhagat Ramanand from Chennai and from Madras and area, and who lived in Varanasi. We have one in Shuddh Basant of his, with the Pancham Basant, which it's a Shuddh Basant with the Pancham, a Dhamar which exists, only one from him. Baba Sheikh Farid's 2 compositions, but I could not find in our tradition's memory any original composition of Bhagat Jayadeva, who is the oldest author of Guru Granth Sahib. And so there are those which are original, like known, the others which are known originals, but the text is changed. Then there are others which my granduncles and my teachers would say that this is from Guru Sahib's time. I said, but so then we extrapolate that during Guru Sahib's times, because they were such prolific, composers, the Bani they never wrote. It came as a song, as Guru Nanak would famously say, "Mardaniya rabab chhed kahin sif khuda di kariye, Bani aayi hai." The Vani is coming. So the words are coming, and they're coming in a song. There was no latency in between the text coming and the composition from. It was not what I wrote in my academic paper for Routledge, the difference between a composed song and a revealed song. I wrote around 10 years, 11 years back. I actually presented the thought in 2008. It was 12 years ago at the Hofstra University, New York. So the difference between that. So these are revealed songs, yes. But if it comes from Guru Arjan's time, then it is understandable that that composition is actually of Guru Arjan. Because there was such information, so much of music that nobody dared. Everybody was enamored by the idea of Guru's singing. But then still we have to make an intelligent guess. But those compositions are not automatically understood when they're classified separately. That this is from Guru times, they would say. In a humble way of saying that we don't know if it is the musical composition is of Guru Arjan or Guru Ramdas. It could be either of the Gurus because they're so close, but we don't know. So it's such honesty and academic integrity has existed in the tradition. They would not just put a label. They were not like smart by half as the people we see in the modern, in the contemporary times. People pretend to be more than what they are. As Guru Nanak, if I may borrow from his expression, sabko pura hova hai, katna koi yak hai. हर कोई एब्सोल्यूट बनता है कि मैं भी एब्सोल्यूट हूँ, मैं भी संपूर्ण हूँ, कि मैं कम हूँ ये कोई नहीं कहता है. गुरु नानक says, nobody says that I'm a little short. Nobody says. Everybody says I'm absolute.
We have my guru, Dr. Balamurali Krishna, with whom I spent 18 years. I have witnessed live those compositions just coming.
Yeah, I remember you telling them so fondly. Tell us, you remember, I mean, can you share? But, allow me to, we will because there are multiple linears. Now, it's a new linear beginning. We were at the time when my computer shut down because of the battery discharge when I was playing. Let's begin from remembering your grand ancestor. Maharaja Sahab, and then also the fact that Santyagraj and Muthuram Dikshitar were also associated, the contemporaries at the time, directly, indirectly. Let us begin with that and then we'll continue. We'll come to the contemporary times as well. Over to you.
Hey, so Rasamandal khelne aaj aaye Sham Mohan, aaj aaye Sham Mohan. Rasamandal khelne aaj aaye Sham Mohan. Rasamandal khelne aaj aaye Sham Mohan. बांसुरी के धुन भी लगे, बांसुरी बांसुरी की धुन भी लागे तन तन नन तुम ननो बांसुरी की धुन भी लागे तन तन नन तुम ननो बाजे 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 ताल मृदंग की धुन द्रुकुटत किटत द्रुकुटत तुम बाजे ताल मृदंग की धुन द्रुकुटत किटत द्रुकुटत तुम द्रुकुटत किटत द्रुकुटत तुम बाजे ताल मृदंग की धुन द्रुकुटत किटत द्रुकुटत तुम आज आए श्याम मोहन रास बंडल खेलने आज आए श्याम मोहन पद्मनाभ तुम्हारी लीला पद्मनाभ तुम्हारी लीला क्या कहूँ मैं बावरो पद्मनाभ तुम्हारी लीला क्या कहूँ मैं बावरो ताप संकट हरने आयो सो हमारो तुम हरो ताप संकट हरने आयो सो हमारो तुम हरो हरो आज आए श्याम मोहन रास बंडल खेलने आज आए श्याम मोहन 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 And Padmanabha, because now the Padmanabha Swami temple is very famous now. Yeah. So Maharaj, just like Tyagaraja was obsessed with Sri Rama, Maharaja was obsessed with Padmanabha. So in all his compositions, Padmanabha would be his signature.
Right.
So if it's a song on Lord Shiva, he would describe Shiva as the brother-in-law of Padmanabha.
I see.
So always Padmanabha would come.
I see. So is it the brother-in-law, the rishta of a jija or a sala?
It is Vishnu, Padmanabha's sister that Shiva married.
So he's a jija, no?
Yeah.
So fortunately for Shiva. So he gets the bragging rights.
Yeah.
And this is beautiful. Looking at the compositional structures, now, of course, in North India, when we had, in the last 140 odd years, what was considered folk, the fast, taan, murki patterns and all that were the miras ang, birasi ang, as it was called. That began, coupled with some of the exercises which in the old. It's not proper to call Dhurpad because it is misleading. The singing of Chant precedes Chand and Prabandha system. There were multiple kinds of chants. There were chants which were from the era when there were no raga systems. Guru Gobind also wrote several chants. His jap, for example, is very, very important, like the jap of Guru Nānak, jap of Guru Gobind Singh. And I've, I can share with you, I've shared earlier with some. One of them would be, for example, is a Bhujang Praya Chand. He is written Charpat Chand, Ekakshari Chand, Ajay, Abhay, Aju. One-worded chant. From one-worded chant to multiple words. Dvi Akshari chant in Guru Granth Sahib is Dutan Sangariya. Dutan Sangariya, Bhoyangan Basariya, Anik Upariya. So from a one-worded chant, the one-worded line to two-worded lines, and the three-worded lines is Oha Prem Piri or Niki Sada Sangani. And this is the entire asthai. Rahao does that. For example, if I may, let me get the tambura for you.
What language is this? It's Braj Bhasha or what?
Well, Guru Granth Sahib is 24 languages and 120 dialects. So Niki Saad Sangani is ancient. Niki is bahut achhi. Is Niki Punjabi. Punjabi verse. There's so many dialects. I mean, it's not even. It's misleading to call it Punjabi also at times. Like Guru Nanak's Arati, famous Arati, which Rabindranath Tagore called the anthem of the entire humanity, is in Maithili. Gagana Maithal, Ravi Chandipak, Abanetare, Kamandal Janak Moti, Dhoop Malayam, Lopavana Chavaro, Kare Sagalvana Rai, Fulant Jyoti, Kaisi Arti, Hoy Bhavakhandana Teri, Arti, Anahata Sabad Vajant Bheri, Sahas Tav Nainan, Nan Hai Toiko, Sahas Murute Naik Tohi, Sahas Bad Bibal Naik, Bad Gandwin, Sahastav Gandhi, which is Maithili from, from that time. Or there is
some words I can understand. That's
I see. So I'm also reciting. Just for the sake of brevity, I'm rushing through it. But to come back to the chant that Guru Gobind, for example, uses, like the Dui actually chant that I shared with you of. Why is it not singing? Let me. That is, for example, in Rag Bihagada, we actually chant, and then we have the Oha Prem Piri that I recited, the three-worded chant. That is in Rag Asa, for example. And then there are, of course, four-worded chants, etc. But just to give you an idea of that, Bihagda. And to see this, that in 2 words and 6 beats each in Vilambit Chautala. Mani da pa ma ga ga ma pa ni da sa re ni da pa ma ga re sa. Ancient Bihagada, the way we sing in Darbar Sahib.
You use Komalni also?
Yes, both the Nikhas and both Madhyams in this. And this is Guru Arjan's original and very rare Partal.
We call this Bihag in South Indian.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
So we call it Bihagada in North.
Right.
So 6. So Dutan, in the company of the Duta, devil. Dutan is Sangariya. Sangariya is one, again 6 beats, sir. Sangariya Saṅgīta bhoyāṅgana basariya aneka upariya dhutara Saṅgīta. This is the old composition, and then the stanza goes up. This is the Dui-Akshari chant. Then we have the Three-Akshari chant. It is Asa. Ni da pa ma ga pa da ni da sa da pa ma ga ri ga pa ga ri ga ri sa ri ma re ma pa da pa ma ga pa da ni ma re sa. The original again of Guru Arjan. Oha Prema. It's a Joda. Both of the compositions are the same composition. And the Sanchari, in this case, it's the last line. In one line, it's a Sanchari and Abho. But very, very unique. Oha Prem Piri. 3 words. Oha Prema Piri. 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 The stanza goes, Karnak Manak Gaje Motiyan Lalan Nahna Nahi Oha Prema Piri. Oha Prema Piri. Oha Prema Piri. Oha Prema Piri. And the last line, the second stanza goes exactly the same as the third. The Abho line is split between the Sanchari and the Abho. It says, Nānak tapat hari. See the changes. The novel Antara was Karnak Manak Gaje Motiyan Lalan Nahna Nahi Oha, and then Prem Piri. And the last one is Nānak tapat. Tap raha hai, Nanak tapasya kar raha hai. And look at the mutualism of the Rag, Kal, Shabad and the due intent is the Avadhanu or the Surati. Nānak tapat hari. Nānak tapat hari. Mile Prem Piri. Oha Prema Piri. Oha Prema. And that goes on. So this is like three-akshari chant. So to say that Dhrupad had a grammar or Vyakaran is misleading, because ek pade, do pade, te pade, cha pade, panch pade, asht pade, sol hai. But then chants which were without any raga, for example, Chakra, Jahan, Har Varna, Jat, Har Paat, Nahan, Jaharu, Rang, Guru Gobind Singh. चक्र चहन अर वर्ण जात अर पात न हन जह रूप रंग अर रेख भेद कौ कह न सकत कह अचल मूर्ति अनुभव प्रकाश अमितोज कहिज कोटि इंद्र इंद्रान साहो साहान गणिज त्रिभुवन महीप सुर नर असुर नेति नेति बन तृण कहत तव सर्व नाम कथ कवन कर्म नाम वर्णत सुमति आधंथा आधंथा कदगदिगिन आ. This is now, for example, without the raga. There's no raga title, and we don't usually sing these. But then there is the chant in Guru Granth Sahib, which have the ragic structures, the way the music evolved. Then the chants over the centuries came to be sung in raga systems. There is, to take cue from Asa only, Guru Ramdas, the fourth Guru. This is the third quarter of the 16th century. Hare Amrad Bhine Loena Man Prema Ratanna Aram Raji. So this is one line, single line, which is repeated. And then there is a closure of the Abhog Kitan or Samagam Kitan. So start Hare Amrad Bhine Loena Man Prem. So Madhyam is the Vadi of this Asa form. And look at the way it develops from the Devata, the Anuvadi, and then it comes and rests on the Man Prem Ratanna. My mind is now imbued in love. Man Prem Ratanna Ram Raji. Hare Amrad Bhin. So Bhin Madhyam. Dava Dava Ma Gere Sari Gere Sari Re Zada Ma Ma Magama Pada Pada Dava Magama. This is the sargam of that. Hare Amrad Bhin Loena Man Prema Ratanna Aram Raji Man Ram Gadavati Laya Kanjana Govinna Gurmogarange Chalulaya Mera Man Tano Vinna Jananak Musake Jagulaya. And then Sab Janam Dana Dana Jananak Musake Jagulaya. And then the slokas will come. Salok Mēlā Pehla Bole Hari Guru Apne Deo Hari Sadvar Jin Manas Se Dev Dekhiye Kardana Lagi Var. And then the sloka rendition would go on. And then the chants were, when we analyze them, we see that the rag is living, it's existing, it's in existence. It is not evolved yet in the ikpade or dopade, tipade, chaupade, panchpade within a sthai. These chants have no asthai. They go one after the other, different chants. So when we look at, it's a pity, post 1947, the Gurbani Sangeet tradition, which is the gift of the Bhakti tradition, which is the gift of the Sufi Marga, headed by Baba Sheikh Farid, and Guru Marg and the Guru Sikh Marg, the kind of reservoir of information that it possessed at the time of partition. I have only ventured into the ruins of Punjab, and so much of information I've been able to recover. I wish the government, the concerned departments of culture and organizations, etc., had taken upon themselves that, okay, we are disbanding the so-called monarchy systems or the zamindari system, but those Johnnies, they ensured that the cultural wealth of their domain survived and dignity was provided with above, before anything else, to the weavers, to the carvers, to the spinners, to the musicians, to the instrument players, to the instrument makers, to furniture makers. The dignity was paramount. People honored excellence. And suddenly you strike of the day, you throw the baby with the water. Thousands of extraordinary masters who possessed the intangible wealth and memory of our nation, of our civilization, were rendered basically homeless in a night. And I think the people, I think these new folks who came had no idea what is it to. It is not about governing. It is not about power. It is about understanding what a civilization is. What constitutes a civilization? The tears of joy and the tears of sorrow. What is it? You know, a call to grant and a call to beg. They don't know the difference. And such information has died. It's a pity, and I hope that conversations like these, you've done such work down south, and I have, spent only 33 years. Fortunately, I was able to converse with, my granduncles and my teachers, within the family, who passed on at least some of the compositions. I think a discourse is required. Vichar, as Guru Sahib says in Gurvani, Vidya Vicharita Paropakari. Unless you've done Vichar, you are not a Vichara, you are not contemplated on Vidya, what Paropkar will you be able to do? You won't be able to do any Paropkar. So I think my purpose at Anād is basically to create just a space where elders now who have had a few eventful decades can converge with some of the promising talent who are now bound to have a few eventful decades ahead. And if we can get together occasionally to, share and discuss, I found this. This is a marvel from so-and-so. Let's have a look at it. And I think that is something which is needed very badly. Perhaps we'll be able to save the soul, to save the aks, the fragrance, at least the khushbu of our civilization.
The thing is that many people are not even interested in finding out, and there is another category of people who know, but they say they don't want to share. It's like, there's this thing, only I know. Yeah. When I die, it will die with me. Yeah. So that attitude, many people have, not only in music, in many other fields also. So I don't claim to know much, but whatever I know, I teach my students, and some things I just sit at home and record and upload on YouTube also. So that if I die today, the song will not die, that it will remain there. So, but sharing is also not very common.
This is not. I think people. I sometimes would joke with the, with the elders I would meet. There was one anecdote when I went to Lahore, and I was doing research with Ustad Muhammad Hafiz Khan. They were protective. I understand they were from the old feudal times, and there were a lot of competition and so on and so forth. And they would not reveal some of the secrets that they had or unique knowledge if they possessed and so on and so forth. So I was doing this research in the year 2000 with him in Lahore at the residence of, at that time he was a High Court judge and retired eventually as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Pakistan. And I was staying at the Jawad Khwaja. I was staying with him and, hosted by his wife Vīṇā Jawad and the family. And we would discuss like hours, like 20 hours, 24, 5 hours, and we'll sleep some and then get back, and I would all be recording, etc. So he suddenly sang a composition. I said, oh, wow, that's a fantastic composition. I said, which rag is it? He says, suddenly, he says, oh, I don't know which rag it is. I said, oh, you don't know the rag? I said, then I genuinely thought he doesn't know the rag. I thought I'll give him benefit of doubt. And he says, oh, I don't know. I said, oh, but maybe, can you sing again because it seemed familiar? I think I have an idea, but can you render again? He says, no, I forgot, I don't recall the composition also. I said, okay. Yeah, he just had a blackout. So I said, okay, hold on. I take you back to the early 15th century. Bhagat Namdev is from Maharashtra, also lived in Punjab. Let me share with you something original from him. Savai Ghat Ram Am Bolai Rama Bolai Ram Bina Ko Bolai Re Bolai Re Savai Ghat Ram Bolai. He says, oh, you know this? I said, hold on. I said, look at this. This is a Choti Din Tal Punjabi Theka. Now look at this Pancham Sawari. Aaye hamare safal kaaj apne das kaule निवाज अपने दास काले होने वाज. Oh, acha. I said, hold on. I said, there's another version of the raga which uses both the madhyams. I said, acha. I said, I take you back again to the 15th century, early 15th century. Mero.
You call this Puriya Kalyan?
No. I'll come to that. It's Mali Gauda. So, is it Mero Baba Madhav, Mero Baba Madhav, Dudhanake, Savaliyo, Bīṭhak, Mero Baba Madhav, Mero Baba Madhav. कर धरे जाकर बैकुंठ दे आए, कर धरे जाकर बैकुंठ दे आए, गज हसी के प्राण उधारिय ले, मेरो बाप माधव, तू धन की सोजावलियो बीठल मेरो. Why? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
But your video is it's back now. Something was happening with the video.
I think I'm staying in a haunted house. Huh?
Oh, I see. Is it like saying anything on the screen?
I can see some flashing lights.
But flashing lights from me? I'm kidding.
No, on my screen.
Is it? Is the light okay from you?
Yeah, the light is okay. Yeah. Now it came again. Yeah, came again.
But it's still you're like from. It's like I'm talking to some alien.
It's like
I'm talking to artificial intelligence. I'll show everybody here. Sure. People, this is AI, Prince Rama. This is the year 2120. And this gentleman lived, several decades back.
Centuries ago, yeah. Actually, this is the first time in my life I'm using Skype.
I know.
Record for me.
Let me call you back again. Let's try and get a signal back. Let me. If you can also just quit Skype and restart this software, okay?
Yeah.
Meantime, I'll introduce you formally. And friends, as you know, that as I'm in conversation already with one of the finest exponents of the Karnāṭak Saṅgīta, Prince Rama Varma. And by the time he is starting, I will share some information about him. Of course, this is the 161st YaarAnād Virtual Baithak Mēlā, and I welcome you all. Thank you very much, as always, for joining. I'm in conversation with Avasthi Thirunal Rama Varma, better known as, or commonly known as Prince Rama Varma. He's an Indian classical musician and a member of the erstwhile royal family of Travancore. He's a Karnātak vocalist as well as an exponent of the Vīṇā. He's also recognized as a music teacher, musicologist, writer, orator, and he's given concerts and conducted music workshops all over India and in several other countries, including the USA, UK, Netherlands, etc. There are several, YouTubes of his you can find, and he is, his views have exceeded 5 million, over 5 million, and that's amazing for a classical Indian vocalist. He started formal, his education in music under Professor Vechur Harihara Subramania Iyer, who was a senior disciple of Dr. Semanagudi Srinivasa Iyer, and who continued to be his guru until he passed away in 1994. Later, Varma went on to become a senior disciple of Dr. Magalam-Palli Balamurli Krishna, whom you all famously know from Mile Sur Mera Tumhara. He and of course Rama Varma studied also with Saraswati Vīṇā under Sri Trivandrum R. Venkataraman and Professor K.S. Narayana Swami. He's let me try and connect with him as I will try and where is he? Let me find. Okay, here he is. I think he's back online. I can try to call him now. We'll wait for him to pick up as I introduce him in Punjabi as well. So this is, you're back? Oh, wonderful.
Still.
That's fantastic. Let me get you back here. The light is still the same, actually.
It's still that weird blue color, yeah.
Did you, maybe can you try rebooting your, restarting your computer? Because this will be a pity. I mean, you're all over the place in terms of colors and pixelation. If you can kindly reboot your computer, it will be great.
Yeah,
I'll introduce you in meantime in Punjabi. I just shared information about you in English. So let's do that, yeah.
Yeah, welcome.
So he's, of course, he gave his first public performance in 1990 and released his first CD at the Queen Elizabeth Hall in London. Since then, he's given concerts and talks, across the globe, including Arsenal, de Metz, France, etc., in Belgium, Royal Tropical Institute, and the WAG, Amsterdam, etc. He was also invited by another Saraswati Veena player, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, when he was the President of India. So I'm really glad that we are able to mark, the concluding day of the 550th birth anniversary of Gurū Nānak Dēv today with Prince Rama Varma. He's, as we already heard some of the compositions, texts written by his grand ancestor, Maharaj Swati Tirunal. But he's, Prince Rama Varma is known for his, for the compositions that he shares in his work and thought process that the analysis that he's done with regards to the works by the Trinity, which is the three grand composers of South India, Muthuswami Dikshitar, Shyama Shastri, and Sant Tyagaraja, Saint Tyagaraja. Along with his grand ancestor Maharaja Swati Tirunal, Annamacharya and Dr. M. Balamurli Krishna himself was a prolific composer. He, of course, sings their works, but of course he's done a lot of work on some of the lesser known composers such as Aitla Ramadasa, Kewad Amara Narayana, and then Prayag Rangadasa and Malekonda Ramadasa. He's, of course, enjoyed some of the, film, playback singers such as K.L. Sekundarlal Sehgal and Kishore Kumar, and several other Madurai Mani Iyer work, and as loves, Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, and others. He's really followed that, and I will look forward to engaging in a conversation about those as well with him. So, and I'll now share a few words of introduction in my mother tongue, Punjabi. दोस्तों जी आया नू मेरे दोस्तों दुश्मनों मेरे जानी दुश्मनों मेरे दरिंदियों परिंदियों तानू मैं आज मुबारक भी देना हासे तो हटके वैसे तो हासा खेड़ा महाराज ने क्या ही है हसदियां खेड़दियां उठदियां बहंदियां विचे मुक्ति पा सकदा बंदा है छड्डन दी लोड़ नहीं हुंदी ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ, ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ। ਅਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਅੱਜ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਦੱਖਣੀ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਵਿਦਵਾਨ ਗਵਈਏ ਔਰ ਵੀਣਾ ਵਾਦਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਾਜਕੁਮਾਰ ਹਨਗੇ ਤਰਵੰਕੋਰ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੁਰਾਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਬਕਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਜਵਾੜੇ ਸਨ, ਰਾਜਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਹੈ, ਰਾਜੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਖੂਨ 'ਚੋਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ। ਪਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤਰਵੰਕੋਰ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੰਦਿਰ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਗਏ ਨੇ, ਅਤੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਨ ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਮੁਰੀਦਾਂ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਸਨ, ਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੋਏ ਸਨ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਹੋਏ ਸਨ, ਉਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਲਈ ਸੀ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ 'ਚ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹੀਏ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਇੰਟੀਮੇਟ ਜੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਮੁਹੱਬਤ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ, ਲਾਡ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਖੂਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਲੜੀਆਂ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਚਰਨ ਛੋਏ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੀ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਤਵਾਰੀਖ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਚੱਜ ਹੈ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਦਾ, ਕਲਾ ਦਾ, ਸਾਹਿਤ ਦਾ, ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਾਬਿਲ ਗੌਰ ਨੇ। ਪ੍ਰਿੰਸ ਰਾਮ ਵਰਮਾ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਨਮ ਤੋਂ ਨਾਂ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਅਵਸਥੀ ਥਿਰੂਨਲ ਰਾਮ ਵਰਮਾ ਸੀ, ਉੱਦਾਂ ਇਹ ਜਾਣੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਸ ਰਾਮ ਵਰਮਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਂ 'ਤੇ। ਇਹ ਵੀਣਾ ਵੀ ਵਜਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਕਰਨਾਟਕ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਦੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਵਿਦਵਾਨ ਹਨਗੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ YouTube 'ਤੇ ਕਈ ਕੁਛ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਬੜਾ ਇਹ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਬੜੀ ਉਦਾਰ ਦਿਲੀ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਰਚਨਾਵਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਂਝੀਆਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੁਣੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਿਆਂ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਮਰ ਵੀ ਗਿਆ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ, ਪਰ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ, ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਰਨੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ, ਵਿੱਦਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ। ਇਹਨੂੰ ਜਿੰਨਾ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਖਾਵੋ ਖਰਚੋ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਪਾਈ, ਟੋਟ ਨਾ ਆਵੇ ਵੱਧ ਹੋ ਜਾਈ। ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਆ ਖੋਲ ਡਿੱਠਾ ਖਜ਼ਾਨਾ, ਪਿਓ ਦਾਦੇ ਕਾ ਖੋਲ ਡਿੱਠਾ ਖਜ਼ਾਨਾ। ਅਤੇ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਵੱਡਿਆਂ ਵਡੇਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਵੰਡੀਏ, ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਵੱਧਦਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਘਟਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨੂੰ ਖਾਵੋ ਅਤੇ ਖਰਚੋ ਇਸ ਇਲਮ ਨੂੰ, ਇਸ ਗਿਆਨ ਨੂੰ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਤਾਬੀਅਤ ਵੀ ਬੜੀ ਖੂਬਸੂਰਤ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਸਾਂਝ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਤਕਲੀਫ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਿੱਦਿਆ ਦੇਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਸਾਂਭ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਣੀ ਹੈ। ਕੰਜੂਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੂਮ ਤਾਬੀਅਤ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੁਖੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਤਾਬੀਅਤ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੁੱਢਲੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਵਿਚੂਰ ਹਰੀਹਰ ਸੁਬਰਮਨਿਆ ਅਈਅਰ ਦੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਹੋਈ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਬੜੇ ਹੀ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹੀਏ ਵੱਡੇ ਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਸਨ। ਵਡੇਰੇ ਸ਼ਿਸ਼ਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਸਨ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸੇਮਨਗੁੜੀ ਸ੍ਰੀਨਿਵਾਸ ਅਈਅਰ ਦੇ। 1994 ਤੱਕ ਜਦੋਂ ਤਾਈਂ ਉਹ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਦੇਹ ਦਾ ਔਲਾ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਲੀਮ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਸੀਨੀਅਰ ਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੋਏ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮੰਗਲਮ ਪੱਲੀ ਬਾਲਾ ਮੁਰਲੀ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨਾ, ਬੜੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਵਿਦਵਾਨ ਕੀਰਤਨੀਏ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਭਾਰਤ ਰਤਨ ਪਦਮ ਭੂਸ਼ਣ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਆਦਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਹੈਗਾ। ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਮੈਂ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਦੇयर इज अ कैन यू हियर मी?
I think my thing is still blue. I don't know what's happening.
Oh wow. Yes, that's true. So
but it is, I don't know what happened.
That's amazing.
We were just chatting normally and then suddenly it just went like that.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter, we'll manage as it is. It's a Baiṭhak with a difference, and it's a marker, you know, in history of the COVID times. We are caught in technology. In fact, I'm going to play something naughty here. What I'm going to do is to make both you and we'll both go black and white.
Oh, okay.
So that we don't have that color. I'll just saturate the entire thing. Yeah, much better now. Let me see if I can find with the gamma correction. You will enjoy it later. It's fun. Maybe I can also go black and white. Where is mine? Here is the camera, and here I go, BW2. Okay, so I mean, you won't see on Skype, you won't see, but on the live streaming, we are both black and white now.
Oh, okay.
And So ਦੋਸਤੋ ਮੈਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ I was just introducing you in Punjabi, almost done ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਹੋਈ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦੱਖਣ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਸੰਗੀਤਕਾਰ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਮੁਥੁਸਵਾਮੀ ਦੀਕਸ਼ਿਤਰ, ਸ਼ਾਮ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰੀ ਤੇ ਸੰਤ ਤਿਆਗਰਾਜ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਚਨਾਵਾਂ ਗਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਪਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜਾ ਸਵਾਤੀ ਥਿਰੂਨਲ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਚਨਾਵਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ KN ਗਿੱਡੇ ਤੇ ਪੰਡਿਤ ਡਾਕਟਰ SM ਰਤਨਜੰਦਕਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਚਨਾਵਾਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਸਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੈ। ਫਿਰ ਅਨਮ ਆਚਾਰਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਔਰ ਡਾਕਟਰ M ਬਾਲਾਮੁਰਲੀ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਚਨਾਵਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਗਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਪਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਘੱਟ ਜਾਣੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਕੁਛ ਨਾਮ ਨੇ, ਏਟਲਰ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ, ਕੈਵਾੜ ਅਮਰ ਨਾਰਾਇਣ ਔਰ ਪ੍ਰਯਾਗ ਰੰਗਦਾਸ ਅਤੇ ਮਲਿਕੌਂਡਾ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਚਨਾਵਾਂ ਹੀ ਗਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ਼ੋਰ ਕੁਮਾਰ ਪਸੰਦ ਹੈ, ਸੈਗਲ ਪਸੰਦ ਹੈ, ਮੋਜ਼ਾਰਟ, ਬੈਥੋਵਨ ਪਸੰਦ ਹੈ, ਬਾਕ ਪਸੰਦ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਅਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਪੁੱਛ ਰਹੇ ਸਨ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬੈਜੂ ਦੇਵ ਦਾਦੀ ਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਪਏ ਸਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੈਜੂ ਬਾਵਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਪਈ ਸੀ ਸਾਡੀ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੜੀ ਸਰੋਤ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਫਿਲਮ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਦੀ ਵੀ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ 'ਚ ਬੜੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਰਨਾ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਆਓ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੁਣ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤਕਨੀਕੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਸਲਾ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ, I don't apologize for any technical hiccups. These are the COVID-19 times, so you can't blame us. Even the top international channels, my friends, they have issues like this. So me and Prince Rama Varma are not going to be apologetic today because of the technological, I wouldn't even call them shortcomings. This is how it is. We are coming to you now, black and white. You were mentioning about the compositions of your grand elder in the Karnāṭak Saṅgīta style in different ragas that you have. Would you kindly share with us some of the in the Karnāṭak style that the composition, the text of your grand elder that exists?
The maximum, though he composed in Sanskrit, Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, but maximum percentage is in Sanskrit. Then he had some songs which are supposedly in Malayalam, but Malayalam and Sanskrit mixed. So, for example, in Malayalam, we can say for mother and father, we can say Mata and Pita. So that is simultaneously it's Malayalam and it's Sanskrit also. So heavily Sanskritized Malayalam, which we call Manipravalam. It's a mix of two languages. So, but that they are just small percentages because it's almost probably 85% Sanskrit is compositions.
Wow.
And mostly easily understandable Sanskrit. Deva, the God of gods. Kalayami, I am thinking of. Te charanambuja sevanam. Your charanam, feet, ambujam is lotus. So I am contemplating serving at your lotus feet, for example. So, or Bhuvana Traya Nayaka. You are the Lord of the three worlds, heaven, hell and earth. Bhuvana Traya Nayaka. Bhuri Karunaya, using all your mercy. Bhuri Karunaya Mama Bhavatapam Akhilam Varaya. My worldly pain of life problems. Akhilam Varaya. Completely please remove. Karunaya. Kindly. So you can easily understand that.
Right.
So simple. So mostly his or Sarasa Aksha Paripalya. Sarasam is lotus. Sarasa Akshi is lotus eyes. Sarasa Aksha Paripalaya. Please look after me. Mamai Santatam. Me Santatam. All the time. Wow. Karunaya. Kindly. Jagadisha. The Lord of the earth. Jagadisha. So it's very, very simple. If you just explain in English, it's like, oh yeah, I can understand this. No, that kind of Sanskrit.
Fantastic.
It's surprising. It's so nice. Like in English, if you read P.G. Wodehouse, even it's a book which you have not read before, you read one paragraph, oh, you know this is P.G. Wodehouse because his English is so typical. So like that in Sanskrit also, Tyagaraja has composed, though a lot in Telugu, he's composed in Sanskrit also. But Dikshitar Sanskrit, Swadhitirnal Maharaja Sanskrit, Kalidasa, Jayadeva, they have such a distinct voice, each of them, that if you just go through the lyrics and you're sensitive to that, you can, even if it's a song you have never heard before, Oh, this is one typical Swaltirnala, typical Dikshitar. That touch is there in all their compositions. And Maharaja, because he composed in Malayalam and Telugu, that same hand you can see behind his Telugu lyrics and Hindustani lyrics, and you know, oh yeah, it's the same person who has made this like that. And this Adya, what I saw, I can just give you an example. So, I sang. Aaj aaye shaam mo. This is in Pahadi. I have heard the same song sung by somebody in Shuddha Sarang. Ne sa re ma ba ni sa ni ba ma. Aaj aaye shaam mohan ras mandal khelne. This is in Shuddha Sarang. Another gentleman sang it in Yaman. So, Aaj aaye shaam mohana ras mandal khelne ras mandal khelne aaj aaye shaam mohana. So suppose you ask me, which do you think? Which do I like? I like all three.
Yeah, exactly.
So whatever you like, you can choose.
And also, I think in Gurbani tradition, sometimes we have the same composition sung in different ragas. It's like a text which is sung in the morning. It is also sung in the evening, for example. So if it's an evening raga and it's an occasion, if the maestro is interested in singing the same text, they would, sing it differently. Talking of Dhanasari, I mean, when I was, we have the original in the Dhanasari. It's Dhanyasi and the Shri Mēlā, the old Shri, which is the Kafi Mēlā, which we sing in the north, still in the Gurbani tradition. We have a little, use of the Devata, which I think my conversation with Professor S.R. Janaki Raman and Professor Ramanathan and T.V. Sankar Narayan, we were colleagues at the Sangeeta Academy together a few years back. The Devata is very alpatva, or hardly used in the Shri, as you would know better than what my memory would. But in our tradition, of course, we use Devata is very important, even in the Kafi Mēlā Shri. But looking at the Dhanasari, I was writing a paper for Routledge a couple of years back. It was published last year, but it was a 3-year enterprise. In 2018, I found a manuscript, Geet Sutrasar by Sridhar Bandyopadhyay, written in 1885, and it had a composition. It had 5 Gurbani compositions notated in staff. So people think, what Gurbani? And it's a Dhrupad. 4 Dhrupads are written. And this one was Halat Sukh, Palat Sukh, which was very interesting for me to find. A Purvi Mēlā Dhanasari goes like this. And he wrote, in the notation is done, and it goes on. And so this is like evening. When you look at the original of Guru Arjan Dev, it's in Dhanasari. The composition remains the same, the tal remains the same. The raga Mēlā is changing. So from the Purvi Mēlā to the Kafi Mēlā, the original was that. Govind ka sada Ali Jai. Another thought came, but this is the original. And then, so, I like the Multani and Dhanasari. I like the in the Dhanasari of the Multani Young, it only is kept in the middle octave. So it will not go ne, it doesn't go. So, ne, because it will become Multani. So Naam Gobind ka sada goes on. So and then it goes in the Bhairavi Mēlā Dhanasari. Hi re ra 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 na de de ma pa ga ma pa pa ma pa ga re sa sa.
This
I
the Kafi based Dhanasari.
Yeah.
In fact, my Maharaja has even made a tarana.
Really?
Geet gune ko takatin atratin naach rahe gori tapti taptai tate virahat geet tune ko takatin. This is one of the most, and then the lyrics are in Hindi.
Kya baat?
Naach rahe gori.
Kya baat hai? Please share. It's fantastic. Gaiye na?
This full song I'll sing properly later.
I see.
I see. But it's just to, but we call it Dhanasri, and we have another Bhimplasri, which is very similar.
It's on the Madhyam Vadi. Dhanasri pure is Pancham Vadi. That's only.
And then we have another one called Abheri. So all three are like not triplets, but almost identical, but with small differences. So Abheri also. Sa ga ma pa ni sa ni da pa ma ga re ni sa. So we don't emphasize the da and re. Ni da we don't sing. Ni da pa ma ga re ni sa, like that. So now I think my screen has started flashing again.
I see. That's funny. I mean, is it on charging? The computer is on charge?
Yes, it's charged, right? It's connected
it is connected. I see. It's very, very interesting what is happening with the screen. And there was I was about to share with you that my granduncles, when they taught, I am taught as Bhim Dhanasari. So they did not teach me Bhim Palasi. They called it Bhim Dhanasari. And for example, Hare Charan Sarana Govind Dukh Bhanjana Hare Charana Sarana Govind Bhanjana Das Apne Ko Naam Leho Hare Charana Sarana Govind Dukh Bhanjana Hare Charana Sarana Govind. So I'm taught as Bhim Dhanasari, which is same as Bhim Palasi. I don't see any difference.
Yeah.
That's you also the Bhairavi Mēlā Dhanasari Sant Tyagaraja I think composed one composition Professor S.R. Janki Raman was mentioning.
Yeah, this Saṅgīta Jnanamu Bhakti Vīṇā. So, but we have is very very hard. Now
I see.
I've changed the so that we have Saga Ma.
What is your scale actually?
This is A.
A, okay. I'll
Six.
also change to that for any references. Yeah.
So this is instead of pani sa, we do pani. So that is very heavy knee.
Yeah.
And sa ga ma. So that's sa ga also sa ga. So this is a very hard oscillation we have in some ragas, and this is one of them. Saṅgīta Jnanamu Bhakti Vīṇā Sanmargamu Galade Manasa. So Gama Pani Sarsani Dapama Gama Pani Dapama Paga Sagama Pasada Pama Paga Risa Nisa Panisa Magarisa Pamagarisa Nisa Gama. But we have another one called Shuddha Dhanyasi, which is like your Dani. There we don't do Saga Ma Pani. We don't do so. La 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 la. Nisa ni pa ma pa ma ga ma ga sa ga ni sa pa. Pa ni sa ga ma pa ma ga sa ga ma pa ni pa ma ga sa ga ma pa ni sa ni pa ni pa pa ma pa ma ga ma ga sa ga ma ga ni sa ni ga ma ga sa ni sa ni pa ni pa ma ga ma pa ni sa ni pa ma ga ma ga sa. Nisa ga ma ga sa pa ma ga ma pa ni pa sa pa ma ga ma pa ni pa sa ni ga sa ma ga ma ga sa ni pa ni pa ma ga ma ga sa sa ga ma pa ni sa ga ni sa pa ni ma pa ga ma sa ga ni sa pa ni ma pa ga sa. So like it, it's a blues scale. In Western music, you then you use the tivra ma, it becomes when oh baby kind of feeling. So saga ma ga saga ni sa. So that is we call it Shuddha Dhanyasi.
I see.
Well, the normal Dhanyasi is the one where Tyagaraja has made this Sada pa ma pa ga. So that ga is 10 kilos heavy.
Yes. And for example, So this is again the Dhanasari, the Kafi Mēlā that we do. I have one solution. There is a way that I can connect. We can check if it's a Skype or issue on your desk. I'm sending you a link. Do you have WhatsApp on the computer, or it's on your phone only?
On my phone only. You can download WhatsApp on the computer.
Oh yes, we can. But I won't show you that right now. You have your email up there on your computer.
Yeah, I'll just send you a message.
No, I have your email. No? You received my email earlier, no? Did you open that? Today, what I sent you an email earlier today, no?
Oh, okay.
Or you know what? I have an idea. We don't have to do the email. Let's give a passing shot to Skype itself. Although I can send you a chat, you know, in that. And what we can do is, please copy paste, sir. Okay, here it is. I've just sent you a
Oh,
mess.
yeah. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah. I'll click on that link.
Yes,
Oh,
but then once you click it, it'll open Safari or whatever you're using, the web browser. Once it opens a web browser, then
yes.
you sort of quit Skype, right? Because
Oh,
then
okay.
the camera will be shared by the both, then it won't work.
Oh, okay.
So once before you click your name, you have to write your name and then press connect on that.
Yes.
But before you do that, just we'll close Skype right now.
Oh, okay.
When you've got that link
I got the link. Yes.
and you open the browser, it's opened up.
It says hello. My name is, and I have
Yes,
to
but before
type
with
it in.
that, we cut the Skype now,
Yeah.
and you
So
also quit Skype altogether
yeah,
on your computer. Yeah,
I'll quit now.
yeah. So we are trying to manage the best we can with the technological issues. Um, and I'm going to close my Skype also, and Safari as well. And I hope there's nothing else out there. Nothing else is there. And yes, I mean, I can look at some of the comments now. Sadhar Namaskar to you too, Professor Savra. Lovely to see you. Today it's the concluding day. Of course, the season 1 is not ending. Maybe I might end, I don't know. And I might start season 2. You have Guru Tegh Bahadur's 4th birth anniversary already on. So I'm planning to, as I already shared with some of you, and that I'm planning to start the 2nd season dedicated to the kind contributions of Guru Tegh Bahadur. And I'm so glad that you could all join in today as I mark the concluding of the 550th birth anniversary year. Just called, good to see you, Shankar Narayana Swami. I have to open that and see if he's connecting. Yeah, that will connect. And then we have Harvinder Kaur joining in, Rima Tegh from Bengaluru. That's wonderful to see you after many, many days. And Ramanjeet Kaur, one of the guests of the protagonist who's been mapped quite some. And in fact, we're planning, we have a second session scheduled with her. She says, many congratulations to the Anād Foundation and Bhai Baldeep Singh ji for the conclusion of the 151st Baiṭhak, a sublime tribute to Gurū Nānak Dēv for archiving so many art processes and artists. Warmest wishes for further journey. Good day in order to listen to Prince Rama Varma ji. That's so wonderful. Thank you for that very kind message, Ramanji. Amarjit Singh says, Satkatar to you too. Manjeet Kaur says, Shukrana, Guru Sahib Ji da, for making these Baiṭhaks possible on the occasion of Guru Nānak Dev Ji's 550th Prakash Purab. Let me see if I can, if I need to call Prince Varma. And we thank Guru Sahib for his special blessings on the chosen Singh who has been able to go about it in an ultimate way. Guruji has reminded us of the Gurus of our Gurus emphatically all through the Baiṭhaks. Vadhai, Vadhai. That's so very kind of you, Manjeet. Means a lot. Kamaljeet Kaur Saran, Sat Sri Akal, back to you. And then we have Divya Suvarna, superb interaction. Thank you so very much for your kind words. Mahinder Rehan is joining. How are you? I hope England is all doing well. I'm supposed to be writing back to you, but it's crazy. I'm drowned. You know, I know that you will be very forgiving. And then we have Maurizia saying hello. Geeta Iyer is saying lots of emoticons. Thank you very much. Namrata Kumari has joined in. Geeta Iyer is very soulful singing. Well, isn't Prince Rama Varma fantastic? And I'm assuming that compliment was not for me. And Jaskar is saying the civil rag Karnāṭak is lovely. Behag, yes. Poonam Zutshi, here is Prince Rama Varma. Hi, yes. Were you able to connect?
It says connecting, and then 3 dots are going on, but nothing has happened.
Oh, I see. So, is your Wi-Fi connection okay?
Well, I mean, I can see you clearly, and I watch Netflix and all.
So you do, I see. So, I see. So, it works well. So, I don't know. Try to connect it.
Please grant access to your camera.
Oh, yes. Please do that.
I did that already. Yeah, I did that already.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just try that again now. Maybe
again,
yeah.
It still says connecting.
That's funny. It's really odd. And let me also do something here at my end.
Because earlier, till suddenly that went off, my picture was quite clear also.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to try to do something from my end and see if it. I'm changing my internet connection. And oops. I hope it's not going to die on me. Okay, I think it's still working. Yes, mine. So I'm going to reboot my connection as well from here. Just give me a moment. And, did you try to connect now?
Yeah, it's still connecting.
So I'm on my using my personal hotspot, my second. It's a very good one as well. I mean, this is just like trying to troubleshoot if there was anything at my end, and but it doesn't seem like that now. Can you put your web browser off again and then try to reconnect? Although it should be.
I just did that.
You already did that.
Did that actually. Yeah.
Right. So let's go back to Skype if this is not working. Let's let's go back to Skype. Yeah, we'll. If you can restart Skype, and then I'll call you on that momentarily.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for your kindness and patience. Yeah. And so we have Sridevi Ramesh. Wajid Ali Sayyed is joined in from Washington, D.C. That's so glad that you could join in. Let me see, where was I? It's taking some time. I'm back where I was, yes. Be patient, people. I know some of you are getting jittery. I see the drops, you know, of people who've joined in, and then they suddenly go. I was looking at Amarjeet's. Is saying this is something different and deep from both. Oh, that's so kind, from both Prince Rama and BBS. Very kind of you. Yes, here we have. I think. Rama Varma joining in. Let me see.
Hello.
Let's
Hello.
see. Yes, I can hear you, but the video is yet to come up. Still not coming?
No, I'm still trying.
Let me call you back. There's a lot of technological issues going on today. Let's try, and otherwise, if it doesn't work soon, I think we will continue the conversation another day. Can you hear me? Can you see me actually?
I can see you and hear you.
I see.
Earlier, some creepy green and blue color was there. Now it's completely gone. Nothing is there
Oh, I
on
see.
my picture.
Oh, I think.
I guess we
So
can
what we can
go.
do is, let's do one thing. Can we utilize your phone instead?
Yes, we can try.
Right. So the link I've sent you, I'll send a WhatsApp to you
Yes.
of that link, and
Yes.
you can just join on that. Right. Let's try that, and I'll just call you back on that. This is the link here. Copy link. WhatsApp to there it is. You got it?
Yes.
And you'll have to keep the phone horizontal, not vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's join there.
Hello. My name is.
And here we are. I have to open up this, and I can go back to color now. Let's see. Where's the option of going back to color? Reset. I'm back with all my colors. Yes. Can you see me? Your audio is. Can you hear me? Your audio is not there. I cannot hear you. This video was visible. It was very good. It's just that we need to. Here he is. Yeah, can you hear me now? Hello? I cannot hear you. Let me see. Just a moment. Just a moment. Maybe it is an option from my end that I need to do. No, mine is okay. Output and input. Okay. Yeah, can you hear me now? I cannot hear you. So the audio setting needs to be done on your thing. I cannot hear you. Can you say thumbs up if you can hear me? My settings are okay. Patience is key. Okay, he's able to hear me and see me, but just see if you can, if you need to activate your mic. I mean, he doesn't need to be told this, he knows it. Mic. Guest is in green room, okay. Guest is in green room, that's funny. How do you, if you're not in the show, okay. So you need to add yourself, here you are. You're in green room, why is it that you're in the green room? Remove from green room, okay. Here you are, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. So there was something about green room, that's funny. So can you put the phone horizontal and place it? You're good now. Yes, we've got you.
You can see or hear me now?
Oh yeah, it's all good now. Yes. Can
Yeah?
you place? Yeah. Can you set the frame like we did for the computer in a similar manner?
Pardon?
Can you place the frame? Can you put the volume maximum on the speaker?
But now your volume is like very feeble now.
You have to press the speaker on your phone. Maybe it's not on the speaker. It should be like on the. Can you put the volume maximum on your? Maybe your phone is silent.
Yeah, put it maximum.
I see. And you can't hear me still. That's odd. And I see he's. Yeah, watch it. You're right. I think the computer screen has actually gone rogue. We'll have to look at it. And I'll have to remove him from green room. Yeah. Can you hear me? You're back. Yes. Can you hear me better now? Yeah.
Oh yeah, much better.
Perfect. So I'm gonna add you here.
You can hear me, see me?
Very well. Yeah,
now?
very well. Just make a. Oh, look at that. Now people, you see how Prince Rama actually looks like. So, if you can place a similar visual that we had earlier of
yeah, kind of same position like camera, like the laptop.
Like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let me get you back. Set the frames. Perfect. It's a little high. Can you make it a little lower, or is it the?
Then I'll make it lower.
Yeah. So that you won't have to look up to me.
This is fine?
Yeah, yes, it's better. That's quite a, I think it's a display for people also, what patience is. I mean, normally people can get really worked up. Arey, nahi ho raha, chalo band karo. Look, people forget that, getting an arkan, one sequence right, sometimes it takes years. And this is just getting the technology right. Um, take us. We've spoken. I think people are also. I've got messages. They're begging to hear you sing. Um, why don't you sing something at this time? What you have, an illustration of how the contemporary times, how a performance looks like in Karnāṭak Saṅgīta today. Starting with the how you do you do Mangalacharan like invocation in the beginning? Or alap, etc., and then composition. How's the structure? And if you can illustrate something on that.
In the so-called modern Carnatic concert format was evolved during the first half of the 20th century by several musicians, but one of the names commonly mentioned is a gentleman called Ariyakudi Ramanujam Iyengar. Ariyakudi Ramanujam Iyengar cut the duration of alaps drastically. So till then, people used to alaps for 20 minutes or half an hour or 45 minutes or whatever. So he would sing, cut alaps to like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, like that. And he was very strongly supported by the percussion legend Palghat Mani Iyer. So Mani Iyer, even if God is the singer, if Mani Iyer is sitting on the side, people would look at Mani Iyer. He was like one mega personality. So Ariyakudi, his singing suited Mani Iyer to shine in the most brightest way possible, because he never sang slow compositions. It was all medium, a little faster than medium. So Mani Iyer could showcase his sparkling brilliance on the percussion instrument very much. So after that, and those days, the concert duration would be 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours. So we would start with a Varnam, followed by a song on Ganesha, followed by one more song. Then we call it the sub main. The main is coming later. The sub main, followed by 1 or 2 songs, followed by the main, followed by a percussion solo, followed by one more song, then a Ragam Tana Pallavi and one more percussion solo, and then the small items, the dessert, which we call them tukadas, tukada, like in Hindi, we call them tukadas. But the sad thing is that this format was evolved when the duration of a concert used to be 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours. But people mindlessly follow the same format even for a half-hour television recording. So for a half-hour television recording, there is no time to sing a main and a sub-main and a varnam and a pallavi and whatever. So one has to use one's imagination and change the formatting of the concert to suit the shorter duration, I feel.
I see.
So I was one of the earliest to cut the sub-main. In most of my concerts, I just sing one leisurely alap without making it 2 minutes or 3 minutes. But not too many alaps, only one big one.
I see.
And sub-main I avoid totally. Then tempo also, they always say the middle, the madhyama kalam, the little fast tempo is the ideal one. So, but I love slow and I love very fast.
I see.
So in that I sing some really slow pieces also, and I sing some really fast pieces also. There will be medium, but I like the variety rather than sing all the songs in the same medium tempo. I find that little monotonous. And the kind of composition also, there are some where the composer is crying to God, saying, please, you are the only one. If you also abandon me, who is there for me? So that's a song which should be sung in a plaintive way. And for example, I'll show it need not be even plaintive. This is a contemporary composer who just passed away at the end of the 20th century. He made a song on Sri Padmanabha, Ananta Padmanabha Swami lying down on his serpent in the ocean of milk. So Sagara Shayana Vibho. So that is how it goes. And this is he borrowed.
Can you maybe move the chair like 1 foot back?
Back, yeah.
Yeah, just a foot back or something, like a foot distance more, 1 foot away or closer, so that you can be comfortable. Yeah, this is a good frame, but you might come closer, then then your head gets cut.
Yeah. So
Yes.
this is in in Bhagesri, so which is a Hindustani raga. So the composer's name is M.D. Ramanathan. So M.D. Ramanathan, he composed Sagar Shaya Vibho Prabhu Sagar Shaya Vibho Prabhu Samagana Lola Sadhu Janavana Kshitrakana Sagata Shayana Vibho Naga Raja Shayana Bhaga Brovumaya Bhaga Shri Bhumi Sahitudai Velayu Shirasa. So a song like Sagar. This we can't sing fast. You know, the whole mood will be lost. And the composer is describing Lord Vishnu, Hari, standing with his two wives, Sri Devi, Lakshmi Devi, and Bhu Devi, the Bhumi Devi. So, but how he describes in Telugu, Bhaga is nicely Sri Bhumi Sahitudai, with Sri and Bhumi, with his, well, as he's standing. But Bhaga Sri will come in. The name of the raga is brought intelligently by M.D. Ramanathan. So many people like Dikshitar, they all brought in the raga name in a very intelligent way in many songs. That is funny. Now I can't hear you.
Apologies. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I can.
My cat was meowing a lot, so I had to actually put I muted and I forgot that I was muted. As illustrations, it'll be great if you can share, an actual, if you can share an example of an illustration of an actual alap as it was done. Would you be kind enough to sing today the alap, the beginning, and to have an example full-fledged from beginning for analysis and study later on, in future.
Again, in alap also, many people have cut the Vilampit completely. It starts off very briskly.
I see.
And we don't have people don't follow you do in the lower octave, then build up to middle octave. Many people even start alap in the higher octave. So while I personally like building it up slowly,
as you mentioned that the structure was changed of the performance decades ago. In your learning, was it possible for you to actually learn how it was done before it was changed decades ago? Were you able to, were you taught like that, or it was only the information that came to you?
No. We were all taught this current way.
In the current way. I see. Yeah. So is there any... but the legends you would have heard, how they did, etc. The information was...
because recordings don't exist from that time.
Oh, I see.
This happened in 1920s, 30s.
Before the spools came, because at that time the wax recording, the length was very little. I think 50 onwards.
Exactly. So the only recording option was in the 78 RPM, where anyway they had to cut.
They had to 3 minutes.
My Vīṇā Guru, for example, had he been alive, he would have been 110 years old now. So Professor K.S. Narayana Swami. So he was the Vīṇā Guru of M.S. Subbulakshmi. To do some name dropping. M.S. Subbulakshmi is a familiar name. So he was her Vīṇā Guru. So that was his stature.
Oh,
But he has
that was
heard.
one name. I caught it, yeah.
Yeah. So he was a person who has heard people like Tiger Varadachari, the M.D. Ramanathan's guru, who would sing alap for 6 hours.
I see.
But it would be small Baiṭhaks. It was not like big temple performances. He would be sitting in a room. There'll be 10 people around him, and he'll just ramble, and alap would keep coming and keep coming. And after 6 hours, you feel there's so much more to be said. That was just one endless outpouring.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a small alap, bonsai alap.
No bonsai. Can you share a specimen for academic purposes? It'll be great to have a reference.
But I have a dinner appointment after some time.
Oh, you have.
So that's why.
What is? I mean, it's 7:30. I know we've had technical hiccups. What is the time? Like it's 7:30 now. How much time can you spare today? More. I mean, how much?
Normally 7:30. So I just send them a message saying half an hour because of these issues.
I see. So around 8ish we can go on.
Yeah. But
So in any case, what I would suggest is that in a few days, maybe next Sunday or something, we can plan a follow-up and making sure the laptop, etc., works a little better. Otherwise, even it is the phone, this is working very well. I mean, the clarity is amazing, and it's like as if I'm sitting in front of you.
Nice.
And then we can, continue in a more elaborate size, in an elaborate manner, the conversation. So please continue. Yes.
I'll sing a small alap in a raga, which is like the Tivra Madhyam version of Keeravani. We call it Simhendra Madhyamam. It's a big name. Simha is a lion, as you know. Indra is the king. Madhyamam is Ma. So it's the Lion King Madhyamam. Simhendra Madhyamam. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah. So Keeravani is Sari Gama Padani Sani Dapama. But here Sari Gama Padani Sani Dapama Gadisa. This is kind of one moderate alap, not bonsai, but not like full. But the tempo, as you can notice, will generally it won't be like. This tempo is almost extinct in Carnatic music. This is the kind of brisk tempo. It's nice in its own way, but I like a little slow, little medium, and little fast. Then only all three would be correct. But if you sit for people will say, "Oh God, he's sleeping or what?" You have paid money and bought tickets. So for Allah, it's become like that because of the trend.
I see. Isn't is there a text like a Mangalacharan text which is there, which is sung? Because I see a lot of tanam, like which is akar and nikar, ukar, like tanas.
This will come much later into the concert. The opening would always be with a song, never with alap. And there is no warm up. We just go bang. So there is one Ganesh Vandana, which is probably the most famous Ganesh Vandana. Even in Hindustani music, people have composed Lagi Laganam, Pati
Yes.
Sati Sangam.
Uh-huh.
So that Vadapi Ganapatim Bhaje Vadapi Ganapatim Bhaje Amba. Then it has additional, we call them Sangatis, phrases. First it's Vata, then Vadapi Ganapatim, then third Vadapi Ganapatim, fourth Vadapi Ganapatim, fifth Vadapi Ganapatim, sixth Vadapi Ganapatim, seventh Vadapi Ganapatim. So these can be Sangati, each one we repeat 2 times. Jegam Varanasyam Varapradam Srivadapi Ganapatim Bhajekam Varanasya Varapradam Srivadapi Ganapatim. This is composed by Dikshita, Muthuswami Dikshita.
I see.
And this is probably the most famous opening song in entire history of Carnatic music. Bhutadi samsevita charanam Bhuta bhautika prapancha bharanam Pitaraginam vinudayogina Visvakaranam Vighnavaranam Pitaraginam vinudayogina Visvakaranam Vighnavaranam Padapika So Pitaraginam vinudayogina the Layakari is so attractive. Are you acquainted with this gentleman from Varanasi called Chanulal Mishra?
Yes. Yes.
So
I mean, I know of him. We've performed many years ago together at the same place. But yes, I know of him. Yes.
He is big into Thumris.
Yes.
Purab Ang.
Yeah.
So I've heard him just burst into this Vatapi, this song which I just sang halfway through a concert.
I see.
दक्षिण में एक गणेश वंदना है, बहुत अच्छा है. उत्तर दक्षिण में कोई difference नहीं, and he just sings this Vatapi.
I see.
Very cute.
I see.
It's very cute.
And we will continue the conversation. We have discussed at times the idea that I have been sort of my search or my quest. All of the form, like we have had in North India, we've had this Chota and Bada Khayal. Originally, Khayal was not full of riddled with the fast tanas as part of the performance. In the Lay and Nad Yoga structures where the voice culture is there, all these Berukhand and all the tan structures, etc., permutation, combinations, they are part of the practice. But in the actual performance, it used to be compositions, it was literature, one after the other, it was thematic. It was not really a display of musical skill only, because it was all it was a prepared dish where salt was not separate, vegetable was not separate, and the way was, what was your poetic expression, what was your, and that reflected your understanding, what kind of a elevation you had gained, and musical attendance to the text also showed one's sensibility and sensitivity. In fact, when there were debates in an era, when Gurū Nānak's time or others, they would not just debate, Zindagi ke baare mein kya khayal hai? What do you think of, how did the world begin? They would sing it. So they would, if they touched upon a Shruti, then you had to actually respond in the same Shruti. If you did not respond in the same manner, sorry, thank you very much, you're defeated. The duels used to be musical duels. It was not just mere talk, because there was a reason for that. They said that this is not ordinary conversation. Elevated, or contemplation on of the para soul, the Parmeswaraha, must be placed on an intangible plate, on a sucha barth, utensil, in a pure utensil, and that is the Swachanada. It would come served as that. the like the tan structure, fast patterns, which has no relationship at times with the text. When you are working with the meaning of the word, when you are making it varnatmak, then it is not necessary in any alankar which is employed because it is allowing for the meaning to be expressed. It is descriptive in nature. So you're actually meaning what you're saying, and there's no space for any acrobatics, aerobatics or acrobats, because whom are you trying to fool? I mean, it's a gathering of learned, so it is already given. That's a common denominator, and you remove the common denominator, you down to what your thing is today. What's your substance of the day? What is the reason why are we conversing even today? Kind of a notion they would have. In the performance in South India and the North Indian khayal structure, I see a lot of similarity, where the murki, phanda, etc., small patterns, tappa-like rendition. I see Gwalior, etc., other schools are impacted, Varanasi, by the singing of tappa from Punjab. You know, Shauri Mian came from Phagwara in Punjab, and everybody, the late 20th century and early 19th century, the tappa really impacted the entire rendition. Tap khayal, etc., very fast patterns came in. But when we go back in time, the renditions are much straight. The alankars are very complex, but they are again bamani. They are not bemani avastha. They are meaningful attendance. They're not meaningless. I mean, without any purpose, there would not be a presence or no alankar would be evoked. It would not be woken up. How do you see, are there traces of the original way that Carnatic music was sung? As you mentioned, there are no recordings and it went out of the pedagogical process as well. Most of the pedagogy that people have undergone is the updated, the modern version of performance. Are the compositions now changed for good, or are there still attendance, there are still compositions which are remembered as how Muthuswami Dikshitar would have rendered or how it was sung by Santyagaraja, like variants that are done, variations, etc.
There is one book. Yeah, there's one book called Saṅgīta Sampradaya Pradarsini. Yes. So in that, one list of songs are written. So some people, they take that as the ultimate authority, that book, whatever it says, no questions asked. So, but then many compositions which are in vogue now, especially by Dikshitar, what we find in the Pradarsini book and how they are sung are completely different.
I see.
And the not little different, but completely different. And the different version has become established. So some of them are trying to revive the other version. Mm-hmm. But for me, as a Malayalam speaker who sings mostly in Telugu and Sanskrit, and Tamil and Kannada. So Tyagaraja 90% Telugu, Sanskritized Telugu. Dikshitar almost 100% Sanskrit. Maharaja Swatirnal almost 100% Sanskrit. Then Purandarasa Kannada, Bharatiyar Tamil. So most of the songs I sing are not in Malayalam. But especially during the last 20 years, with the help of people, Telugu speakers, Kannada speakers, Tamil speakers, and the internet, I have been trying my best to learn the word by word meaning of whatever song I sing in whichever language. And then when I look at the general Carnatic music scenario, the number one disconnect between the spirit of the composer, the singer, and the audience is that most people don't give a damn about the lyrics.
I see.
So they sing a Telugu song, but they may not have word by word meaning. They may not even have the general idea of what Tyagaraja says in that song.
Wow.
And that is a singer, and listeners also won't have any idea. So they just come to see the voice going up and down and the mathematical calculations and the aggression and the speed and the technical things. And the composition is just like an excuse. It's like a mannequin on which you hang the clothes and whatever. The clothes being the improvisation. So while my guru, Dr. Balamurali Krishna, being a Telugu native speaker, though his personality and his music was very flamboyant. When he sang Tyagaraja Kritis especially, I feel this would probably have been kind of close to how Tyagaraja sang them.
I see.
Because he never jazzed up the compositions. The jazzing happened in the improvisation. And he was the fifth direct Shishya Parampara of Tyagaraja, his own nephew come prime disciple Manambuchavadi Venkata Subbaiah, his disciple Susarla Dakshinamurti, his disciple Parupalle Ramakrishna Pantulu and Balamurti. And though I have this Maharaja Swadhitrunal lineage with my blood on one side, the musical lineage directly I come in Tyagaraja's Parampara.
I see.
But he being a Telugu speaker, it is not much of an effort for him to understand Telugu because that was his mother tongue anyway. So a song which we have been hearing for so many years cut wrongly, and that tune is stuck in everybody's head. Suddenly you cut the word correctly and sing it correctly, they feel, hey, you've changed, it doesn't sound like. I'll give you something which you will understand. It is a Sanskrit song by Tyagaraja on Lord Shiva, where he says Nada Tanum, his Tanu, his entire body, Shiva's body is made of Nada. Nada Tanum, Anisham, always Shankaram, Namami. I do this to you, and I do this not only physically, but mentally and with my head. Namami me manasa shirasa. With my mind and with my body I do. So it is, you can imagine Shiva white as camphor and just vibrating with Nadam, that body. It will be Nadatanum Anisham Shankaram Namami Me Manasa Sirasa. This is the kind of magnificent feeling. But every other person, they don't even think of Nada Tanum. They'll sing Nada Tanumanisham Shankaram. Nada Tanumanisham Shankaram. Nama me Manasa Sirasa. So then, bale, tabash, no, jump, with percussion, let's go for a ride. No? Yes. So that whole spirit of that composition is completely gone.
Yeah.
But if you have been listening to this for 40 years, then suddenly you sing, Nadatanum Anisha. It's like, what the hell? He's just made it so dull and slow when we want Nada. Right? So Nadatanum Anisham. But they'll sing Nada, cut. Then Tanumanisham. So Tanumanisham becomes one word. But Modakaram Nigamotama Samaveda Saram. So he is the essence of Samaveda. So Samaveda. So they'll sing Modakara Nigamotama Sama. Modakar, then repeat with three Sangatis. So Sama is part of Samaveda. So then Veda Saram Varam Varam. Actually, it will be Modakaram Nigamotama Samaveda. We have to sing Samaveda together. Samaveda Saram Varam Varam. So instead of that, Modakara Nigamotama Sama is line 1, which you sing 10 times. Then Veda Saram is line 2, which you sing 10 times. Samaveda is sung together, not even once. So it's complete disregard to the spirit of the composer. But people have sung like that over the generations, and listeners in their minds also it's imprinted like that. So when we try to get a connect between the composer and try and go back to how it should ideally sound, people find it disturbing because it sounds different from what they are used to. So Balamurali Krishna, for example, in Tyagaraja Kritis, he used to sing what I feel was the correct way, but he never bothered to explain. See, I know you have listened to it like this, but this is the essence. He could speak English very well, but he says, I'll just sing it correctly. If people understand, that's good for them. If they don't understand, that's their problem. I am little more listener friendly. So I explain in English or in Malayalam or Tamil or whichever local language, I explain the meaning of the song, and I instead of just telling the meaning, like Shiva, his body is made of divine sound. Instead of that, I'll say Nada Tanum. So Nada is Nadam, then Tanu is his body. Anisham Shankaram. Namami, I bow to you. Me. Manasa, with my mind. Sirasa, with my head. So I say that this I picked up from dancers who do that very nicely. They'll explain the word by word meaning and do the abhinaya as an introduction to the song, so that when they perform, we can understand what they are trying to show. So that initially I looked, you will never believe me seeing me now, but at one point I looked very young.
Oh, really?
So when I, yeah, it's impossible to believe. So, but when I looked young and I would explain the meaning, the older generation listeners, they would get really angry. And they would come and tell me, hey, listen, I have been listening to Chamangudi and Ariyakudi and this Gudi and that Gudi and many Kudis and Gudis long before you were born. So don't try to teach me about music. So I would start with an apology and I'll say, I'm sure most of you know, almost all of you know what this composition means. Just in case there's one or two people who have no idea, I'm explaining this for their benefit. So the others, please forgive me. I thank you for your patience, like that. And then when I explain the meaning and suddenly Sama Veda comes, I can see these old guys. Oh yeah, it's I never knew. You can see in their face suddenly lighting up with that. But now, because I look older, people accept that, and they know I'm not preaching. I'm just trying to share something nice, which will enhance their enjoyment and connection with the composition. That's it. It's not trying to show off or anything. But that is a
The
long way to go.
Yeah, it is in the sense that I had very similar experience. Now with my white beard, I'm more gullible. I guess people are able to, but still, it is a big problem. People are intimidated, they're threatened, etc., etc. But with the Gurbani rendition, people would do the Vicheda, split the words wrongly. And then you wonder, yeah, how is this? For example, Guru Garib Nawaj. So, Guru is the Garib Nawaj. So, the one who endows a humble person, the Parampur Parmeshwara endows. So, I am the Garib, right? I am the poor one, the humble one, the underserved, the beggar, at the feet of the Parampur Parmeshwara. Who's the Guru? The creator of all, the bearer of all secrets, of the entire creation. The Param Guru is the Guru of Gurū Nānak. We know of no other Guru. The Parampur Parmeshwara is the Guru. So Guru, Garib Nawaz, who emancipates the Garib. So people do, they would be singing, and suddenly there would be, what is happening to, I can then maybe just put it off. And let's see if we can. So they would call Guru as Garib. Guru Garib, Garib, Guru Garib, Guru Garib, Garib, Garib Neva. One wonders, Guru is not Garib. I am the Garib, it's not Guru. Guru and the Garib Nawaz is the Nawaz of the. So that's one issue that I'm so glad that you mentioned about that. The other aspect I want to touch upon briefly before we call it a day, I know we're almost there, about the raga forms in the north, for example, Adav, Kharav, and Sampurna, 5, 6, and 7 note ragas have been now somehow taken as a standard. Whereas if one wonders, 4 note ragas existed. And Hindol. Then, of course, later on, there's a version of Hindol which also has a very feeble nikhad. It goes. Judage jadaiya rang, judage jadaiya rang, bhuma ke bhavaiya, bhara bhuma ke medaiya, nadadina loka gaya, judage jadaiya rang, judage. So, so this is the one with a very feeble nikhara.
How old would this be? Like 20th century or earlier?
No. These are way back. These are very centuries back. Then there is, for example, the 4-note raga. Then there is a 3-note raga, like Swami Haridas's composition that, for example, I'm taught by my younger granduncle, Bhai Baldeep Singh. And I remember we, had a conversation with Sergeant Mishra once, and he sang a composition of Sadarang Adarang, in Balshiri. I was surprised. And he sang a Drut composition. It's clearly a Drupad. And he was surprised. I said, hey, you're singing this raga. I'm surprised. Now hear this of Swami Haridas. This is the Kalyan Mail. And then there is a Kafi Mail of the same Malshari. In the Anād tradition, we call it the Nanak Sri. But this one is Swami Haridas. So, चार ताल This, for example, is the Samaha Jati, Artik, Datik, Sama and Savarantar Jati. Then there are 2-note ragas, very rare. I mean, normally these are not shared, but we are talking about our legacy, our civilizational wealth. And I think, we both share the same sentiment. Knowledge is not there to be hidden. If it is my knowledge, I can choose. But if it is heritage, then it doesn't belong to me and I cannot take the decision to hide it. It's not my harvest. I'm just a custodian. Look at this one. They said, Bij Roop of the Bhairav. The Bhairav Mela.
When my Guruji, when my Guruji, Dr. Balamurali Krishna, till he came in Carnatic music, there was an unwritten rule, or maybe written rule, that for a raga to be called a raga, it had to have minimum 5 notes.
Also
So
in the
Balamala
south,
Krishna,
this rule exists. I thought it only existed in the north India.
in fact, I didn't even know that
My
a 3 note or
goodness.
4 note existed. So when he made a raga with 4 notes, they nearly crucified him. They said, "Hey, how
Really?
can you do it?" It is such a big controversy.
My goodness.
Then, as response, one raga just came to him automatically. He was not deliberately doing it, but because of the controversy, he made a bunch of ragas with 4 notes as response,
I see.
and then he made some with 3 notes also.
I see.
The among the 4 note ragas, this one is like
Yeah.
very attractive. It is Sa, Komal Tri, Shuddhama, and Komal Tha.
Uh-huh.
Sa Re Ma Da Sa Da Ma Re Sa. So you can do full. Sari ma re re ma da ma ma da sa da da sa ri sa ri sa da da ri sa da sa sa ma da da ri da da ma da ma ri sa ri sa ma ri sa da ma ri sa da ma ri sa da da ma 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 ma ri sa da da ri sa ri da da sa ma ma sa da da sa ma ma da ri da ma ma da ri ma sa ma sa ri da sa da sa ri ma ma sa ri ma da da sa ri ri ma ma da da sa ri ri ma 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 ri sa ओंकाराकारिणी मदहंकारवारिणी अवधूमा ओंकार मात्र शत्रुदमनी ह्रींकार रूपिणी रुद्राणी मुरली सुधा लहरी विहारी पुररिपु प्रेमित त्रिपुर सुंदरी करुणारस भरित ललित लवंगी वरदा अभयदा सकल शुभांगी. So this is the full song,
Uh-huh.
but oh, stunning.
Yeah.
And we don't miss. Oh, I think one note is missing. That feeling we don't feel. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
sorry, mother said. Ah, we can sing alap, sargam, anything
Yeah,
nice.
exactly.
But I was so thrilled to know that. I mean, I wish, even otherwise, I wish my guru were alive. But
Oh,
from this
yeah.
particular point of view, I wish he were alive so that he could have quoted your precedent saying that it's there
Yes.
ancient times also.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be one ultra postmodern, naughty, perverted thing that he did by making 4 notes.
That's what people. That's amazing. There is. Look at this. The Bij Roop of the Kalyana composition by, say, the Archit Jati, the single note.
A single note. Go
Now then the Sanchari My voice is all dead. Oh, jo gai, Akhandali abhog Daily Gurū Nānak Dēv Anād Vīṇā solicited Mēlā E161 Listen, Archik, Bija Rupa Ragas existed like this. I don't know what is missing in them. The guts that it requires to render them. I mean, I'm dead now speaking and all that. My apologies really to the grand elders who've kept this knowledge. I'm hardly anyone to render these. But the idea of touching a note, you know, we are both pedagogues. I mean, this is not easy.
I know.
So the idea of the handicap, the difficulty, it exists. And is our civilization richer with this knowledge or is it poorer? When they have the limiting factor of 5, 6, 7, I mean, is Swami Haridas bonkers singing in 3-note ragas? 2-note ragas? A single note raga? I mean, I'm so glad that you shared about because I was not aware, that Dr. Balamurali Krishna had, faced such opposition. I mean, I learned it from you that it was not easy. I mean, people are not they've forgotten the idea of awe, for example, of wow. Really? They say, oh, how can that be? You say, wow, can it be like this? I mean, it's so stupid, really. What has become of us? Or what have we transformed ourselves into? And I'm assuming from your sharing that the 7 jatis of ragas that are written in the scriptures, Archik, Gatik, Sama, Savarantar, and I've heard some scholars say, oh, it's not really to be sung because there can be no melody. I mean, then the question is, what is melody? Melody can exist in a single note. The moment you fill in life, you pump, it's like a soul in a body. That's melody. One soul in a body. It's one soul. I've got multiple limbs, but my soul's only one. My heart's only one, and my bloody brain's also only one. I have 2 eyes, but I have one vision, one sight. What is this? I mean, I'll be, kindly share your thoughts and insights about this whole problem of what people have tried to, if I may rephrase, people have tried to cut our musical harvest to their own size, to their own understanding.
Exactly. Just limit it to their vision. They can't take beyond this. So it has to be this. Yeah. And even Balamurali Krishna, he was an innovator. Yes, he made 4-note ragas. Yes, he made 3-note ragas. Yes, but that is one small part of what he did. You look at how he sang
Yes.
Todi and Bhairavi in
Yes.
the traditional classical idiom. His Todi is like it's an unbelievable Todi, but people, the anti people, they just ignore that and say, oh, he sang rare ragas, weird ragas, 3-note ragas, 4-note ragas. Okay, then why don't you talk about his Todi? No, that. Did he sing Todi? Like, oh,
My
okay. He sang
goodness.
Todi for 50 years. It's like you look at Picasso, he was the greatest realistic painter at that time. Then only he went into Impressionism. It's not because he could not draw realistically that he went into Impressionism. So you just, if you like somebody, everybody has good and bad. So if you like somebody, you ignore all the bad and just highlight the good. And this is nice. If you don't like somebody, you ignore all the good and just highlight not even bad, but what you feel should be highlighted as a bad thing. So and innovation also organically, naturally. Balamurali Krishna, for example, he's coming from the Tyagaraja Parampara. He sang in the what we call normal format for 40 years, 50 years. It's only after 1970s, 80s, slowly, some changes started happening organically. It's not like, okay, I want to do something different. So for the sake of doing something different, I'll wear my shirt down and my pants on top. Okay? Because there is no, and the motivation for doing that is never why. It's always why not. Because nobody has said that I should not wear my shirt down and pants on top. No? So why not? So just with that, for the sake of being different, when people try to be, it's the word try to be immediately implies the opposite. You try to be funny, you try to be sexy, you try to be smart, try to be different. While naturally something evolves out of something, then it's organic and nice. But many people nowadays, they try to be different. I prefer, even if it is boring, I prefer somebody singing a normal concert nicely than something perverted in a misplaced attempt to be different. you know. So
It's easy to be different, isn't there? No parameters. Where do you bring the parameters from?
yeah, exactly.
People can go on to it,
But
this is different. But then,
anything that generates news or a discussion, or some, even it can be controversy, scandal, it doesn't matter. But something to be in the limelight, you do something.
yeah.
So
So I know that you've a dinner date, and I hope that we continue the conversation because I do want to look at the pedagogical process in the Bani, of course, in the not unlike the Darbari music of North India, we've had systems in which there were composition structures in which the raga, they were called tikas, like encyclopedias. They were sung. Um, it'll be great to understand from you some of the pedagogical processes or compositions that are part of the when you impart ragic knowledge, and how do you develop onto the improvisation, what is the structure, and again my interest from an anthropological, musicological, archaeological, I don't know, mixed, it's an alloying a perspective that I bring onto the table. It's always interesting for me to see what it was and then what it has become, because I try to find in that the intent or the requirement or the need or the necessity of the grand elders who originally composed. As I wrote in one of my papers, it's not important of what one is what was being said by them, yes, but how is it that they said, because it changes everything. If I could say, I would like to have this with an exclamation point, because I would like to have this with a question mark. It changes everything. If I say it nicely, I would like to have this. Would be different. In anger, would be different. It could be very intimidating, could be very derogatory, demeaning, it could be insulting to the one I'm telling. So it changes. So I understood how, and again upon the analysis of the ancient compositions, when I wrote a long time ago that upon the analysis of old original compositions of the Gurus, I found how when they were speaking to the mind, the compositions remained more or less in the lower octave or below the mid of the middle octave. That is maximum up to the pancham and below pancham. That is a space in which mind is being spoken to when you address, right? I've not found a single composition originals in which if it is the mind, so it is like Mana. It doesn't go like that. Manave Rama Bhagati Chittalaya Manave. For example, this is what I found. If it is celebrative, it is higher. Prita Prita Guriya Mohan Lalana Pancham Savari Rag Suhi Jap Man Govind Eka. Now Man Jap Man Govind Eka again comes down. But the celebration Prita Prita Guriya Mohan Lala Prita Prita Guriya Mohan Lalana. Then Jab Man Govind Eka. See, the Alankar has come to emphasize Japa Mana. Hey mind, meditate, but on the Govinda, the Binda of the seed of the entire cosmos, not Krishna, but the creator of Krishna, the one who is only one. Eka means not the one who is born in 24 or X number of avtaras, the one who is Jug Jug Eko Ves. You know, Ad Anil Anad Anat. Adi, Anil, Anadi, Anahat, Jug Jug Eko Ves. The one who has only had one incarnation, that is the formless, the karamaless, the nehkarmi, the colorless, the genderless, the nameless, that one. But then the emphasis, look at the Jabaman, it's like convincing that Jabaman, Govindeka, Avar Nahi Ko Lekha. Sant lag man chad duvida ki guriya Preet Preet Guriya Mohan Lal. Pancham Swari 15 beats. Now, celebration like that. Then I see upon the analysis again of the ancient compositions, the originals of the Gurus in particular, the Gyan comes in the Sanchari part. In the third part is where the knowledge is given. So the asthai would have the problem. They say, oh, I'm in a mess. Oh, master, you seem to be very happy. You know, you look very radiant, full of joy. Can I also have that? Because I'm in a mess. That's the asthai and the antara. Right? Then the gyan comes in the, for example, if I may, Guru Arjan's Hava is honke, I'm sighing, I'm in grief. Mohan Nidana Ava Hava Har Kajar Vastara Bharan Kine Udini Kavagharavari. It's a plot of his Suhagan, that the soul has become a Suhagan now, adorned with all the virtues and discarded all the vices such as Kam, Krodh, Lobha, Hankar, Hat, Nida, Chugli, Bakili. All the vices have been discarded, so I am a Suhagan Swarupa, ready for the wedding with the Parampurk Parameshwara. That's the plot by Guru Arjan, original composition. Then the first stanza is Sarana Sohagana Charana Sees Adhara Lalan Mohe Milavo Kabhar Averi. Again the question. And then the Guru comes, Suno Saheri, Milana Baat Kaho, Sagro Aham Mitavo, Tao Ghar hi Lalan Pavo. Tab Rasa Mangala Gunagavo, the methodology when the actual praise, Kirtan actually happens. Once you've met with the beloved Kartar, Purk Parmeshwara, right? And then Nanak Dwara Ayo, Tau Mai Lalan Payori. First signature that this is how I came at the feet and I attained the Lalana, the beloved. And then how the asthai changes. It says Now the emancipation has occurred, wedding has occurred. So the abhog is Mohan Roop Dikhava. Read retrospect. Ab mohe neend suhava. Meethi par hai kahani. Ab main sahaj samani. Mohan lalan payori. This is the the abhog of the how the second asthai. A very unique composition. It goes like this. Mohan neend har kajar basar bharan kine. So ego, har kajar basar bharan kine. The first signature of ego, where Gamaka represents ego. Har kajar, har honka, the sigh, the cold sigh I have adorned. Har kajar basar bharan kine. But then udini, I'm waiting. Udini udi. Kab ghar avari mohanani. This is the asthai and the ava. You see the voice is reversed. It's a different ucharan. It's not aaj. It's different ucharan. Very rare. And then the stanza. Again, it's a reiteration of the plight, of the state, desperate state. Sarana sohagan charana sisadhar lalan mohe mila avori kav ghar avari mohanani. Mohanani, Mohanani. Then the Sanchari comes. Suno Saheri, Milayana Baat Kao Sagaru Amita. You know, the Gandhar is the Ashirvadatmak Swara. So the whole Gyan is being given at the place where the prayer is being made, is being received. The Gandhar, or the value of the third note. Azuno Zaheri Milana Baat Kaho Milana Baat Kaho Sagaru Amitavu Tau Ghar Hi Lalan Pavu Tabara Samangala Gona gavu Anād Roop Deyavu Nānak Dwara. Celebration. Nānak Dwara Ayo To Mēlā Payo Ni To Mēlā Tao Mēlā Tao Mēlālan Payo Mohan Roop Dekhava. Celebrated. Gay. Tekkad Deen. Dhag Tekkad Deen. Tatekkad Deen. The Geet Tal, the celebrative, huh? Mohan Roop Dekhava. Ab mohe नींद सोहावा रूप दिखावा मोहन रूप. And it goes on. I don't want to take too much of your time. Just to give an idea that when we analyze looking at the old music, when you go back centuries, it is Bamani. Every note is laced with what the word is desiring to be carried, the baggage that every word wants or demands that it must be carried. Now, if you look at the music, as you've rightly pointed out, it is so poor. There seems to be a body, there seems to be a constellation of notes here and there, but if I'm not impacted by it, is that really music?
And you forget 200 years ago, my Guruji Balamurali Krishna, he died only 4 years ago in November. And he composed nearly 300 songs. And I spent 18 years with him. When I went to him, if somebody spoke Kannada, somebody spoke Telugu, I didn't even know this is Kannada, this is Telugu. That was my condition in 1995. But later I worked hard to understand. Now if two people have a conversation either in Kannada or Telugu, I can almost understand the whole thing. At least 80% I can understand. But Balamurali was here with us till 4 years ago, and people who never bothered to learn from him directly or even understand what he meant or what the significance of each song, not of 100 years ago, just Balamurali who was there now. After he died, they take his recordings and learn wrongly and sing them.
Wow.
As someone who knows the authentic version, it's very painful, and sometimes I get sad, sometimes I get angry. Why can't they? I have taught so many people to who sing correctly, but nobody seems to give a damn about authenticity. It's like instead of a portrait, they do caricatures. When Indira Gandhi was prime minister, you draw one nose, you know it's Indira Gandhi, but that's not her portrait, no. So just caricatures of his composition, which was composed 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Wow.
Then 200, 300 years ago is like a lost cause, almost, with no recording. And more than not knowing him, so many of us don't know so many things, but not caring is very painful.
Yeah.
I don't know and I don't care. I mean, that when I don't care comes, that's the problem. I don't know, yeah, but I can try and do something. No, but when the people become so callous, so rather than talk about it or write about it, at least I do my best to connect to the soul of the composer, whether it's my current Guru Balamurali or 300-year-old Dikshitar or 600-year-old Purandaradasa. Try my best, and like if you since you would know several languages, if you don't know any language, it will be difficult to learn Italian. But if you learn Italian, then you will learn French and Spanish more easy because they are little similar. Like that, if you know Telugu, then Kannada becomes easy. So like that, the more you become intimate with Balamurali songs, that opens the door to become intimate with Soitirnal songs also, and Dikshitar and Tyagaraja. Like cooking also. Suppose you don't know any cooking is difficult, but you're an expert in South Indian cooking, means North Indian cooking will come little easier. So same principle, we can get and we must get closer. So people older than me, even by one day, I don't want to say anything about them. But at least the younger generation who are educated, they are much more techno savvy than me. As you know, today is the first day I even downloaded and used Skype in my life. So they are so techno savvy, they can spend 5 minutes looking up the meaning of the songs they sing anyway for last 15, 20 years. Tyagaraja and Dikshit. I'm not even talking about obscure composers or rare songs. The most popular middle of the road Tyagaraja songs, which you sing 100 times, please try and find out what it means. So then the way we sing it will change. Definitely. It won't be this mechanical, aggressive kind of belting it out. Will change definitely. And then next step is to educate the listeners also, just to tell them. So I have made a few videos on YouTube during the lockdown. I took some very, very popular songs like Bhavayami Raghuramam by Maharaja or Enduro Mahanubhavulu by Tyagaraja. And like this, in front of my phone, I explained the meaning and uploaded it on YouTube. And so many people have commented below, including Telugu, saying, I'm a Telugu speaker, but I never knew Enduro Mahanubhavulu had so many things inside. It changed the way I look at the song. And I'm not a Telugu. So for me, it's not a display of my imperfect scholarship. It is just a labor of love, just shining a light. See, look at the song; it's so nice. So that's the purpose. So now technology is there; we can use it in a nice way, like we are talking now. But now I have to leave; otherwise,
Yes.
I will not sing for supper. I won't get my supper.
I know.
So
No, it's thank you so very much for
thank you. It's my
joining.
pleasure.
For me,
Unexpected connection.
yes. In fact, Vidushi Gopika Varma, your sister-in-law, and I have known each other for like ages, and um, she was very kind. Of course, we always tease each other. Whether I was kind to request her to come, or she was kind to accept to come. But we had gotten together at Patna Sahib when the government of Bihar had requested me to organize, a major 6-day event which ended up being 6 day event, 65 hours of music, dance, poetry, and I've meant to sort of connect for a long time, but somehow it was numbers, etc. I'm
It's
glad to
nice.
finally make the acquaintance. Yeah?
And
So,
today, even in South India, it's a very special day today. It's Kartika, where people light lamps in the evening, and it's a
oh, I
full
see.
moon. Entire South India, you just drive in Chennai or Bangalore or Trivandrum, every house will be outside. You will find small lamps lit.
I
And
see.
unlike Diwali, where people burst firecrackers,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is very beautiful. Just lamps lit. It's Kartika. It's a special day, and as we are talking, I can see the full moon outside. It's amazing full moon.
It's Gurū Nānak's
Yeah.
Jayanti also, no? The 550th ends and
Also,
the 551st begins. Yeah, it's his birth
that's so,
anniversary now. So
that's so
it's
nice.
um, uh, there's a beautiful one, just to remember him by for everyone who's my granduncle would sing Guru Nanak's, tribute to him by Gurdas is Ghar ka ghar aaya, ghar aaya. That's one yo kele vikho karta ghar aaya, ghar aaya. This is, it's the birth anniversary of Guru Nanak. It's beautiful that in the south also they have, they're celebrating.
Yeah.
And we'll meet soon, we'll talk soon, and we'll connect
Yeah.
and we'll plan our
After the
itineraries.
virus, yeah, after the virus, we'll meet
We'll
in person
actually
also.
meet, but because there's so much to my conversation, of course, the course is not done. So I hope to maybe next Sunday or the Sunday after, we'll connect with, hopefully the technology would be more sorted out.
This works
Yeah,
fine. This
yeah,
current thing.
exactly. Yeah. But anyway, there was an audio issue, but we'll talk about that another time.
No.
We don't have to resolve that matter now. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Prince Rama Varma.
Thank you.
Lots of love from the north.
My pleasure. So, how does one log off? You can probably cut off. Otherwise, you will be
I
watching
will.
me having dinner now.
No. No, it's okay. I'll send you packing. A very good evening to you. Enjoy your meal. Bon appetito. Yes. Yeah. Friends, that was my conversation with Pandit Rama Varma. My sincere apologies with regards to the technical hiccups, etc. I know, Professor Savra, you wanted to hear him, but then there's so much to talk about. Singing, there's plenty on YouTube. If you can punch in Prince Rama Varma, there are some extraordinary recitations by him. If you have any difficulty, just let me know, and I'll send you some of the links to his works. Thank you so very much, everyone. And I read a comment maybe earlier by Santha Ramakrishna. I think it was you, Santha, whether this Baiṭhak series was to end or not. No, the Baiṭhak series is not ending. It continues. It's just that the concluding of the 550th birth anniversary is today, and in about 4 or 5 hours it will be the new year the birth anniversary again. 551st birth anniversary will begin. I have several more Baiṭhaks to do, and soon I will start the season 2. It will be dedicated to the 4th birth anniversary of the 9th Guru Tegh Bahadur, who's the protector of the Tilak and the Janeu that still exists today. At that time, it was supposed to be the dead end of it. So we're all very grateful. He's the first martyr in human history who gave his life to save another faith, which he was not a practitioner of. So he's known as Hind Ki Chadar, Guru Tegh Bahadur Hind Ki Chadar, the protector of the entire Hind civilization. So we will mark the second season to him. These seasons will be marked to some of the great elders. We will maybe one day mark to the Trinity as well. One season, it'll be great to then cover up and map the works, the contribution of Santyagaraja, Muthuswami Dikshitar, and Shama Shastri. And of course, then there are other composers like Purandara Das, the way he made, created the entire pedagogical system. He made it, accessible. Ordinary mortals like me and you could touch the notes and could utter words and could celebrate and rejoice. So lots of love to you all, and a happy Guru Purab to you all. It means a lot that you joined today. You took time out, and I have on YouTube. I'm sharing the 100th Baiṭhak at about 9:30, in which the 3 films that I made, I'm making them public. I had kept them hidden on Facebook, but I've decided to, post them. It's okay. It, I think, goes live in about 45 minutes. Let me see if I can find this one. And then we have, the premiere is happening today at 9:30, I think. Yeah. So that is 9:30, 29th November. You will see the films on Gurbani Sangeet Mind. The thing you need to look at it is that I'm playing the taus, which I first handcrafted it back to life. Then I learned the technique from my granduncle, Bhai Avtar Singh, and then I played with him and that. I recovered the Jodi Pakhawaj, which I played early today to celebrate in my own way because my voice is all dead. And I ended up singing some in spite of the fact that I'm on voice rest. But so I hope you will bear with me, bear with my voice. But the Jodi Pakhawaj, I recovered, not just as a token, just to play, have a fancy instrument, but the entire ecosystem of what was the performance like. What was the performance? The way it was, the way it evolved, the way it matched the singing of ikpade, dopade, tripade, chaupade, panchpade, ashtapade, etc. And the material, the way it was played, I analyzed it, etc. And I've played that in that film. Then I produced and directed the film as well. So it's a very important work. It is what recovered, the entire Gurbani Sangeet, tradition. People have tried in terms of, because it became chic, it became fashionable. People started singing Gurbani in ragas, but then they even tried to create, but they have created new raga forms, but using the same names. They've made their own versions, and the music is as divorced from the heritage of how Gurbani Sangeet was actually sung as it ever can be. So my work has been to try and recover how it was sung, and if there are traces that there are, if they've survived, to recover them, analyze them, and then to celebrate them, to learn and make it possible, or make them accessible, make that knowledge accessible. So I hope at 9:30 on my YouTube channel, do kindly subscribe to that. Also follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And if you have interest in music and heritage and conservation, Professor Vasavra is here, who's been a very dear elder within the Anād Foundation as well, part of the Anād Scientific Advisory Committee, looking at the conservation of the tangible assets and tangible heritage. And I look forward to engaging in a conversation with him as well in the near future, in the days when he will be able to accommodate some time. And I'll see you. I'll be around on the YouTube channel, in and around. If you can join in, enjoy the 3 or 4, 5, I think maybe there are 5 films 3 15-minute clips on the instrument makers Hansraj, on Gyani Krishan Singh and Gurdyal Singh, as well as the original first cut of the film Sikh Kirtan Maryada, and then the second cut, which was shown in several film festivals around the world. That was a 43-minute. So it's a 4.5-hour long, a recording from the 100th Baiṭhak, which was streamed live several weeks back. And my greetings to you all. Guru Purab di lakh lakh vadai hobe. May you all be blessed by Guru Baba Nanak. And believe you me, he is a very fine soul to be blessed by. Sat Kartar, Khuda Hafiz, Namaskar. A very good night to all of you.